Chapter 1240. Pei Li wanted to struggle, but he didn't move when he saw the bruises on Lin Yan's body. Xing Chen and Cheng Mo hadn't expected Pei Yucheng to react this way either. They stood rooted to the ground in a daze. They could understand that Pei Yucheng didn't want Pei Li to get close to Lin Yan, which was why he had hugged Pei Li. However, this scene was still horrifying. The father and son were like fire and water. Pei Li had always wanted Pei Yucheng's life, so they weren't used to this sudden closeness. Ling Yu had been locked up for a long time, so she wasn't sure what had happened. However, she knew that the relationship between the father and son was strained. Anyone who didn't know what was going on might find this heartwarming. Lin Yan blinked as she glanced at Pei Yucheng and the little boy in his arms. She couldn't help but chuckle. "Mr. Pei, why do I feel that, this child, looks a lot like you?" Especially that cold and noble feeling between his brows, it was as if they were carved from the same mold. Ahem. Xing Chen coughed violently when he heard that. He was Brother Yu's biological son. How could he not look like him? "Sister Yan, if you look in the mirror, you will realize that this child looks like you too." Pei Li seemed unhappy when he heard his mother. He pursed his lips and wanted to retort, but he didn't say anything in the end. "Let's get in the car." Pei Yucheng held Lin Yan's hand. "Oh, coming." Lin Yan hurried after him. Xing Chen, Cheng Mo, and Ling Yu followed behind. Cheng Mo glanced at the family of three and rubbed his nose. "I didn't expect to see this scene in my lifetime. It's quite heartwarming." Xing Chen chewed on the lollipop in his mouth and sneered coldly. "Heartwarming? Brother Yu and Little Devil wouldn't dare to be presumptuous in front of Sister Yan. They are just good actors. Besides, aren't you forgetting something?" "Forgotten what?" Cheng Mo was puzzled. Xing Chen replied, "Your other little brat." Cheng Mo's face darkened as he perspired profusely. "Don't jinx it. One is bad enough. Don't let the other know." Ling Yu wanted to investigate the surroundings, so she left first. Cheng Mo drove while Xing Chen sat in the front passenger seat. Lin Yan, Pei Li, and Pei Yucheng sat in the back seat. Cheng Mo and Xing Chen sat in front, not daring to make a sound. They were afraid that the father and son would start fighting. Pei Yucheng was on Pei Li's left, while Lin Yan was on his right. Even though he was trying his best to sit on Lin Yan's side, there was limited space in the back seat. Once the three of them sat down, they would inevitably touch Pei Yucheng. Lin Yan didn't sense anything amiss. She was just worried that the child might still be frightened. After he got used to it, Lin Yan probed, "Kid, do you know where you live?" Pei Li shook his head. Lin Yan asked, "Do you have daddy and mommy's number?" Pei Li continued to shake his head. Lin Yan's head throbbed. "You don't know anything? What should I do?" Lin Yan couldn't get anything out of him. It seemed like she had no choice but to send him to the police station. "Don't worry, we will help you find your parents and send you home." Xing Chen and Cheng Mo remained silent as they listened to the conversation between the mother and son. Lin Yan pondered for a moment before she asked, "Kid, what's your name?" Chapter 1241. Hearing this question, Pei Li did not speak for a long time. Lin Yan was puzzled. Was this question that hard to answer? This child couldn't possibly not know his name, right? "Sister, my name is Xiaoli." Pei Li finally replied. Lin Yan pondered for a moment. "Xiaoli? Sister, it's a polite greeting," replied Pei Li. Lin Yan's eyes lit up. "Oh, so it's Xiaoli. That's a nice name and it suits you very well." Pei Li pursed his lips and nodded. "Yeah, my mother gave it to me." Lin Yan grinned. "Is it a polite name? Your mother is really good at naming things. It's really nice." Xing Chen and Cheng Mo, who had been listening to their conversation, exchanged glances. They were at a loss for words. Haha. I hope you can still say this after you know your son's full name. Pei Yucheng rubbed his forehead and remained silent. Xiaoli, what's your name? Lin Yan wanted to know more about this child so that she could help him find his parents. Xing Chen was speechless, Cheng Mo was speechless. Had this moment finally come, Pei Li instinctively glanced at Pei Yucheng, as though he really didn't want to answer this question. Ahem. President Pei, Miss Lin, we have arrived at the police station. Fortunately, they had arrived at the police station, so Cheng Mo interrupted him. Lin Yan hurriedly got out of the car with the child. Lin Yan lowered her head and told the child, Xiaoli, don't be afraid. You are safe now. You will be able to return to your parents' side soon. The corners of Xing Chen's mouth twitched. He was right next to his parents. Pei Li tugged at the corner of Lin Yan's shirt. Sister, what if I can't find my parents? Can I stay by your side? Lin Yan was taken aback when she heard him. This child had no information. Even if they sent him to the police station, they wouldn't be able to find his parents in a short time. How could that be? Think carefully. Can you remember where your home is? Or the special buildings around it? Lin Yan asked patiently. Pei Li lowered his eyes and fell silent. Pei Yucheng glanced at Cheng Mo. Cheng Mo was in a dilemma. He didn't dare offend the little devil, but he didn't dare offend Pei Yucheng either. Fortunately, it seemed like Pei Li didn't want to fall out with Lin Yan. So now he could only play along with them. Cheng Mo could only say, Miss Lin, this child's identity is currently unknown. It's indeed not suitable to keep him by your side. Furthermore, you're usually busy and don't have time to take care of him. Leave the rest to me. Just as Cheng Mo was about to continue speaking, a man's voice came from afar. Lin Yan glanced at the familiar voice in surprise. Boss? Why are you here? Xiao Yao, who was wearing a light gray suit, strode over with his long and slender legs. Pei Yucheng's eyes met the man's when he saw Xiao Yao suddenly appear. Two forces collided. When Xing Chen saw who it was, he immediately stood up straight. Third heaven, Cheng Mo frowned. Why is he here? While everyone was lost in their own thoughts, Pei Li, who was standing next to Lin Yan, glanced at Xiao Yao and greeted him. Uncle Xiao. Lin Yan was even more surprised. Xiaoli, do you know this uncle? End of this chapter. Chapter 1242. He's my nephew, replied Xiao Yao. No way. What a coincidence. Lin Yan was pleasantly surprised. That's great. I was just worried that I couldn't find this child's family. I didn't expect him to be your nephew. Lin Yan realized that something was amiss. Wait a minute, your nephew. That means he's your brother's son. Does this mean that this child's father is your brother, Xiao Ji? Cheng Mo was speechless, Xing Chen was speechless. When had Pei Li's father become Xiao Ji? Xiao Yao fell silent for a few seconds before he replied, my nephew, the son of my best friend. I know his mother. Lin Yan patted her chest. She felt a lingering fear at the thought of Xiao Ji's terrifying way of talking. Oh, you scared me. So he's your friend's son. I was wondering how Xiao Ji could give birth to such an obedient and sensible child. Oh yeah, boss. A group of people tried to kidnap this child for money. Hurry up and send this child home. His parents must be worried sick. Lin Yan hurriedly urged. His mother lost her memory in a car accident. She has already forgotten about his existence and is with another man, Xiao Yao replied expressionlessly. What? That can't be. Lin Yan was shocked, but she didn't want to pry into his privacy. Thus, she asked, what about his father? Xiao Ji glanced at Pei Yucheng. I don't know. He doesn't have a father. Pei Yucheng was speechless. Lin Yan was puzzled. Why doesn't he have a father? Did his mother get pregnant before marriage? Xiao Ji replied, yeah. Lin Yan was speechless. She had really guessed it right. This child was too pitiful. His mother had been in a car accident and had forgotten about him. She didn't know where his father was either. No wonder he didn't know anything when she had asked him about his family. However, she had pursued him for so long. Lin Yan felt guilty when she heard this. Lin Yan said, then this child, Xiao Yao replied, help me take care of him for a while. Lin Yan was taken aback. Huh? Me? How would I know how to take care of a child? Besides, I'm very busy with work. I don't live alone, so I'm afraid. Xiao Yao replied, 100,000 yuan a month. Lin Yan immediately pulled Pei Li into her arms. Boss, this can all be overcome. The main thing is that I feel that since I've already saved him, it's better to take responsibility until the end. Xiao Yao, then it's settled. Pei Li, who was standing to the side, had a look of astonishment on his face. He didn't expect it to be so easy. Xing Chen and Cheng Yimou looked at each other. What was Xiao Yao up to? Why did she help Pei Li lie? Lin Yan suddenly realized that she had forgotten something. She hurriedly glanced at her boss with a bright smile on her face. Mr. Pei. Do you think that's all right? Pei Yucheng glanced at the girl and fished out a check. Are you short of money? I can give it to you. Lin Yan stared at the blank check and swallowed her saliva. She waved her hands frantically. No way. How can the check you gave me be the same? If you give it to me, we will be in the same basket. I want to earn other people's money now. Pei Yucheng fell silent for a moment before he agreed. That's true. Pei Yucheng was satisfied with the girl's answer. However, Pei Li had appeared out of nowhere. It was too dangerous for him to stay by Lin Yan's side. All these years, this child had become stronger and stronger, and it was getting harder to control him. His personality was also getting harder to fathom. If he lost control again like before. Chapter 1243. Mr. Pei, this child is so pitiful. I just want to take care of him for a few days. Besides, I think he is a good boy. He won't disturb you. Although money was part of the reason, Lin Yan really liked this child. Lin Yan sensed that Pei Yucheng didn't seem to agree, so she tugged at his sleeve and whispered, Can I? Hubby? Pei Yucheng was speechless. Lin Yan asked, Hubby? Pei Yucheng pondered for a moment before he made a decision. Sure. Pei Li already knew that Lin Yan was still alive. Even if he tried to reject her today, Pei Li would have another way. He might even do something more extreme if he was forced into a corner. Pei Li was speechless. Pei Li looked conflicted. He hadn't expected Lin Yan or Pei Yucheng to agree so easily. Please. I'll pay you half of the money in advance. I've already transferred it to your account, said Xiao Yao. Lin Yan had just spoken when she realized that she had received a transfer notification. Ah. That was fast. Boss, you're too kind. I have something to do. I have to leave now. Xiao Yao drove away. Lin Yan was speechless. He had left without looking worried at all. He hadn't even asked if the child was scared or willing. Had he been injured? Indeed, no one would love a child who had no parents. Lin Yan's heart ached as she watched the little boy. She was worried that he would be disappointed, so she comforted him. Xiaoli, your uncle has been busy recently. Can you stay with me for the time being? Pei Li raised his head, looking obedient and gentle. His eyes sparkled like stars. I want to stay with you, sister. Lin Yan was startled for a long time. Good boy. Ow. This child was so obedient and adorable. His clear, watery eyes were fixated on her. When he called her sister, her heart would melt. She would want to give him all the best things in the world. Lin Yan's heart was pounding. She had no idea how much pressure Xing Chen and Cheng Mo were feeling when they saw this. They might as well watch Pei Li's brutal face. This little angel was too terrifying. They had witnessed such a terrifying scene. Would they be silenced later? "Let's go home first," said Pei Yucheng. Lin Yan nodded. Soon, the car arrived at Cloud Manor. There was still a long way to go after they got out of the car. Pei Yucheng stood in front of the little girl and asked, "Do you want a hug?" Pei Li took half a step back when he heard her. It was obvious that he was rejecting her. Lin Yan wasn't sure if she was hallucinating, but Pei Li's gaze seemed to be filled with disdain. Cough, Xiaoli is probably not used to being too close to strangers. Let's just walk over. It's not that far. Lin Yan tried to smooth things over. After entering the house, Pei Li quietly looked around. There was a pair of slippers, a pillow, a pair of cups, and a racing car model. Lin Yan's personal belongings were scattered around the room. It was obvious that she had stayed there for quite some time. It seemed that Uncle Dog was telling the truth. "Xiaoli, it's too late now. Big sister will take you to the supermarket tomorrow and buy some daily necessities for you." Lin Yan led the little fellow to the couch. Pei Yucheng removed his coat and hung it on the hanger. As he unbuttoned his shirt, he asked, "Are you hungry? I'll go to the kitchen and make you something to eat." Chapter 1244. Lin Yan was about to sit down on the couch when she heard him. She sprang up as though her butt was on fire. "Ah! No, no, no! Don't move! Let me do it. I'll do it. Boss, don't tell me you have something against Pei Li. You don't have to. She's just a kid." Pei Yucheng replied, "I've been working on a new menu." Lin Yan replied, "There's no need for that. Let me do it. Just sit down and wait for the food." Lin Yan lowered her voice and whispered, "Have you forgotten the two things you promised me? First, she wasn't allowed to touch him. Second, she wasn't allowed to cook." Pei Yucheng was speechless. Lin Yan was about to head to the kitchen when Pei Li glanced at Pei Yucheng coldly. "Sister, there's smoke in the kitchen. It's not good for girls. Men should be the ones to cook." Lin Yan was touched by the little rascal's words. "Xiaoli, who taught you all this? You're such a sweet little angel. However, sigh, child. You haven't experienced the suffering of the world. You don't know how dangerous it is. Well, Xiaoli, I really like to cook. If I don't cook for a day, I'll feel uncomfortable all over. So, let me do it." Hee. Pei Li didn't believe Lin Yan. He thought that she had been bewitched. Pei Li was speechless. Pei Yucheng was speechless. After Lin Yan went to the kitchen, only Pei Li and Pei Yucheng were left in the living room. One of them was aloof and dignified, while the other was cold and aloof. Pei Li realized that Pei Yucheng had no intention of explaining himself. After some time, Pei Li broke the silence. Pei Li said, "Although Mom is still alive and you didn't kill her, she had already decided to leave you. What tricks did you use to deceive her?" The little girl glared at Pei Yucheng coldly, waiting for his answer. Pei Yucheng picked up the glass of lemonade and took a sip. "Your mother courted me." Pei Li's eyes widened. "That's impossible." Pei Yucheng replied, "You can ask her." Pei Li pursed his lips. He obviously didn't believe a word of his father's. There were some fresh ingredients in the fridge, so Lin Yan cooked 3 bowls of noodles. Although she wasn't good at cooking, it was better than eating Pei Yucheng's food. "Xiaoli, do you eat onions and garlic?" Pei Li obediently sat on the chair in front of the dining table and nodded. Sister, I'm not picky. Good boy. Lin Yan added some spices to the little fellow's noodles. Hurry up and eat. The little fellow carefully took a bite, cherishing it as if he was eating a delicacy. Big sister's cooking is delicious. Lin Yan cupped her face in delight. Really? Then eat more. Lin Yan watched the little fellow eat happily. After some time, she realized that he hadn't moved. Mr. Pei, you should eat too. He couldn't taste it, so Lin Yan didn't have to ask him if it tasted good. Actually, if he thought about it that way, it wasn't too bad. No matter what she cooked, he could eat it. Pei Li quietly finished the entire bowl of noodles and even drank the last mouthful of soup. When he was done, the little fellow glanced at Lin Yan and asked, Sister, how did you meet uncle? Lin Yan scratched her head. This kid had called her sister and Uncle Pei. Wasn't there a difference in seniority? Chapter 1245. Well, it's a long story. Her time with Pei Yucheng had been like a dream. She really didn't know how to explain it to a child. Pei Li glanced at Pei Yucheng and asked Lin Yan, Sister, was uncle the one who courted you? Or was he you? Who had courted who? Lin Yan had to think hard to answer this question. At the time, Lin Yan had thought that the pervert who had possessed her was Pei Yucheng's confidant. That confidant had provoked Lin Yan and claimed that she had wooed Pei Yucheng and had nothing to do with Lin Yan. Hence, Lin Yan had broken up with Pei Yucheng in a fit of rage. Then, she had spent another 10 seconds wooing Pei Yucheng. It had also been then that she had realized that Pei Yucheng hadn't been a pervert or a confidant. The one who had possessed her had been Pei Yucheng himself. Pei Yucheng had wooed Lin Yan. Pei Yucheng hadn't wooed her. He had wooed himself. Should she say that Lin Yan had wooed Pei Yucheng? She had really wooed him, although it had only taken 10 seconds. Lin Yan hesitated for a long time before she glanced at Pei Yucheng speechlessly. In the end, she said, How should I put this? I did wooed your uncle. 10 seconds was considered as courting. Pei Li, who hadn't expected this answer, looked incredulous. Oh yeah, where will Xiao Li sleep tonight? Lin Yan suddenly thought of this question. Pei Yucheng replied, I've already asked someone to clean up the room on the 3rd floor. Huh? The 3rd floor? Lin Yan frowned. That's too high. He's so young. Won't he be afraid of sleeping on the 3rd floor? Pei Yucheng replied, the guest room on the 2nd floor is fine too. Pei Li pursed his lips. Sister, I'm fine. I can sleep anywhere. Lin Yan was a little worried when she saw how sensible Pei Li was. She really couldn't trust this child. He was so young, yet his parents weren't by his side. There wasn't even anyone to comfort him. He had suffered such a huge shock. How scary would it be to sleep alone at night? In the end, Lin Yan said, This child has suffered a huge fright. I'm worried about him sleeping alone. Why don't we let him sleep with me tonight? Pei Li raised his little head, his little face a little surprised, as well as a hint of joy in disbelief. However, the light in Pei Li's eyes was extinguished before it could start. His eyes turned cold as he studied his father quietly. He knew very well that his father would never allow him to be so close to his mother. As expected, Pei Yucheng pinched his temples. No. Lin Yan frowned. Why? Pei Yucheng didn't know how to reply. Lin Yan and Pei Li had just met, but things had already deviated from his expectations. He had underestimated Lin Yan's feelings for Pei Li. Even though she had lost her memory, subconsciously, she still felt close to this child. If he continued to stop her, would the outcome be as tragic as before? Would their relationship reach an irreconcilable point? That was something he absolutely did not want to see. After a long silence, Pei Yucheng's expression returned to normal. He looked up at the girl in front of him and said, your worries are reasonable. Am I right? Lin Yan's face lit up with delight. Pei Yucheng added, Ling Yu has already investigated the people who wanted to harm you this time. They didn't succeed this time, but there will definitely be a next time. Lin Yan, who knew that Pei Yucheng was right, sighed and said, I don't know who I have provoked. They keep coming wave after wave, but I think some of them have mistaken me for someone else. Pei Yucheng replied, no matter what, you could be in danger at any time. Pei Yucheng paused for a moment before he added unhurriedly, so, I'll sleep with you tonight. Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Li was speechless. Chapter 1246. Lin Yan had never coaxed a child before, so she had no idea what to do. Therefore, she sent a text message to Xiao Ji to ask, Boss, how do I coax the child to sleep? Xiao Ji replied, why do I need to be coaxed to sleep? Lin Yan was speechless. Did this guy not have a childhood? Whoever became his son in the future would be in deep trouble. She had no choice but to think of a solution herself. Xiaoli, do you want to listen to a story? Asked Lin Yan gently. Pei Li's expression seemed to be a little hesitant. After a while, he carefully asked, can I? Pei Li looked as though he wanted to listen but didn't dare to trouble her. Lin Yan's heart ached even more. Of course. However, as soon as he said that, he realized that something was wrong. But I don't think I know how to tell stories. Lin Yan scratched her head. Lin Yan instinctively glanced at Pei Yucheng, who was standing at the door. Pei Yucheng was speechless. Mr. Pei, do you know how to tell stories? Lin Yan asked hopelessly. Pei Yucheng walked over with 2 cups of warm milk. Drink the milk first. Pei Li glanced at him but didn't take it. When Pei Li didn't move, she picked up his glass. Xiaoli, have some milk. You can grow taller. Only then did Pei Li drink it obediently. After drinking the milk, he leaned against the headboard and asked, what do you want to hear? Lin Yan blurted out a few names that she had heard of. The little girl who sells matches. Daughter of the sea. They all seem to be tragedies. Is there any happy ending? Okay. Pei Yucheng nodded and began to speak. Once upon a time, there was a cute little girl. Because she always wore the beautiful Little Red Riding Hood that her grandmother gave her, everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her grandmother was sick, and her mother brought Little Red Riding Hood to visit her. Lin Yan's eyes sparkled. She hadn't expected that he would really tell a fairy tale about Little Red Riding Hood and the big bad wolf. This is too cute. Pei Yucheng was startled. What's wrong? Lin Yan replied, nothing. I just didn't expect you to know how to tell a fairy tale. Pei Yucheng replied, I've heard about it. I'll remember it. Heard of it? What kind of person would tell him a fairy tale? Could it be that brat, Pei Yutang? Lin Yan had been running for her life for the past few days. No matter how strong her body was, she was exhausted. Lin Yan lay on the soft bed with his soothing voice ringing in her ears. There was a soft and fragrant pillow in her arms, and she fell into a deep sleep. After a while, Pei Li also slowly closed his eyes. After the wolf woke up, it wanted to escape, but the rocks were too heavy. Just as it stood up, Pei Yucheng lowered his voice until both of them had closed their eyes and fallen asleep. The girl's face was porcelain white and flawless. Because she was sleeping soundly, her face was flushed red. Her brows were filled with sweetness, as if she had no worries at all. Pei Yucheng removed his gold-rimmed glasses and placed them on the bed. Then, he tucked them in. Pei Yucheng's gaze landed on the little fellow in Lin Yan's arms. The little fellow had always been vigilant. Whenever he looked at him, his eyes were cold and distant. Now that he was curled up in Lin Yan's arms, he finally looked like a child. If he hadn't been born with such a terrifying ability, the story of the Big Bad Wolf and Little Red Riding Hood has appeared in at least 3 books, from Suyu to Just Like Me to the rest of my life. End of this chapter. Chapter 1247. On the way out, Xing Chen and Cheng Yimou leaned against the car, looking as though they were about to collapse. It took them some time to recover. The more Xing Chen thought about it, the more puzzled he felt. Although some of the higher-ups know about Sister Yan's existence, Brother Yu has sealed the news. At most, they would think that Brother Yu has a girlfriend or a substitute. Who leaked the news about Sister Yan? Does the devil already know that Sister Yan is his mother? Judging from young master's attitude, it seems like he already knows. Of course, young master's thoughts are hard to guess, so he could be testing us. Cheng Yimou gripped the steering wheel and smiled bitterly. However, these questions aren't important anymore. What's important is that young master has come knocking on our door. This is really a headache. There were a few times when I thought that the little devil was going to go berserk. I was so scared that I ate 3 times more lollipops than usual today. Xing Chen said with lingering fear as he tore open the wrapper. Actually, I think that President Yu is scarier than young master. Cheng Yimou said with a hint of sadness in his voice. Xing Chen nodded in agreement. In the past, Brother Yu would have flown into a rage if he had encountered such a situation. Sister Yan has been uncontactable for so long, and the little devil dares to get close to her, Cheng Yimou sighed. President Yu has indeed toned down his temper in the past 2 years. Xing Chen exclaimed, it's not just toned down. He has been reborn. Tonight, under the pressure of the father and son who could lose control at any time, Xing Chen and Cheng Yimou seemed to have struggled back from the brink of death. Cheng Yimou sighed heavily. You guys don't have to be around all the time for missions, but I have to be by President Yu's side every day. Xing Chen bit the lollipop in his mouth as his face darkened. That B***starred Qin Huan got off lightly. He hid in peace. Cheng Yimou, who already knew that Qin Huan was a mole, comforted him. Although Qin Huan was a mole, he didn't intend to hurt you. He even pleaded with the man in black for you and Ling Yu. I believe that he had his reasons. Xing Chen snorted coldly, as though he didn't want to continue this topic. A traitor is a traitor. Let's not talk about him. Xing Chen patted Cheng Mo's shoulder. Oh yeah, Brother Cheng. I have a suggestion for you. Cheng Yimou, what suggestion? Xing Chen replied, if you want to live well, you have to cling to Sister Yan. Cheng Yimou, the next morning. Lin Yan had just woken up when she received Cheng Mo's text. Cheng Yimou, good morning, madam. I have prepared some daily necessities for the child. They are already in the living room. If you need anything else, please let me know. Lin Yan read Cheng Mo's message and her eyes landed on the word madam. In the past, Cheng Yimou had always called her Miss Lin. Why was he calling her madam all of a sudden? And his tone was so solicitous, at that time. Pei Yucheng and Pei Li were already awake in the living room. Pei Yucheng was sitting on the couch, working on his work. Cheng Yimou was holding a pile of documents as he waited nervously by the side. Initially, Pei Yucheng had wanted to head to the office. However, little young master was here, so he couldn't leave them alone at home. Lin Yan had set a strict schedule for Pei Yucheng's working hours, so Cheng Mo had no choice but to deliver the documents to Pei Yucheng as soon as possible. He really didn't want to face both father and son at the same time. End of chapter. Chapter 1248. Pei Li glanced at Pei Yucheng, who was sitting on the couch. Aren't you going to make breakfast? Pei Yucheng didn't even lift his head. No. Pei Li replied coldly, it seems like my mother is good at everything except for her poor taste in partners. What's the difference between you and those useless men? Pei Yucheng raised his head. I have good taste in partners. Pei Li was speechless, Cheng Mo was speechless. Cheng Mo wiped the sweat off his forehead and looked at the little devil. He braced himself and tried to smooth things over. The kitchen has already prepared breakfast, young master. Before he could finish his sentence, Pei Li glared at him coldly. Cheng Mo swallowed the words young master hurriedly. If you want to eat anything, you can tell me. Sigh. Why was there such a tense atmosphere so early in the morning? Suddenly, there was a creaking sound. The sound of the door being pushed open sounded like music. His legs had finally woken up. You guys are up so early. Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yucheng and Pei Li. When Pei Li saw Lin Yan, his icy cold face melted into a ball of cotton candy. He raised his head and greeted her adorably. Sister, good morning. He was in a great mood to see such an adorable and angelic face in the morning. Lin Yan grinned. Good morning, Xiaoli. How did you sleep last night? Are you used to it? Pei Li replied, half of it. Lin Yan was speechless, half of it? Did kids have such a unique way of expressing themselves? I'll go prepare breakfast. Cheng Mo heaved a sigh of relief when he saw Lin Yan. He seized the opportunity to get breakfast ready and left. Do you have work today? Pei Yucheng asked at the dining table. Lin Yan placed a poached egg on Pei Li's plate as she replied, the international competition is about to begin. We have to decide on the contestants as soon as possible. I have to go to the team in the morning. I have an appointment in the afternoon, but it's a simple one. It should be over soon. Lin Yan glanced at Pei Li with a headache. What about Xiaoli? You can't leave him alone at home. Pei Yucheng replied, I'm resting at home today. I can help you take care of him. Pei Li turned to look at Pei Yucheng in disbelief. He couldn't believe that his father would be so shameless. Lin Yan, on the other hand, was touched beyond words. Pei Yucheng wanted to help her take care of her child. The president of JM Corporation. He was personally helping her take care of the child. Boss Xiaoyao, your 100,000 yuan is really worth it, okay? He had struck it rich. Pei Li gazed up at Lin Yan. Sister, I want to be with you. Lin Yan glanced at the little fellow with a troubled expression. I'm sorry, baby. I have work to do today, so I can't leave. Can you let this brother accompany you? If she was in another profession, she might be able to bring a gift along. However, she was an artist, so it would be inconvenient for her to bring a gift along. She might even hurt Xiaoli, so she could only keep Xiaoli at home. With Pei Yucheng taking care of her, she would naturally be at ease. Pei Li had always been self-conscious and sensitive in front of Lin Yan. He would never make any requests. The request he made just now was already the most he could do. Hence, he fell silent after hearing Lin Yan's words. In the end, Pei Li nodded. He was already in such a terrible state. Only by being obedient would his mother not hate him. Small theater, Lin Yan, boss, President Pei, and I will help you take care of your child. You're making a killing. Xiaoyao, the two of you have your own child, yet I have to spend 100,000 yuan to take care of him. Do you think I'm making a killing? End of this chapter. Chapter 1249. Lin Yan's heart ached when she saw the little fellow's dejected expression. She reached out and caressed the little fellow's head gently. Xiaoli, be good. I'll be right back after work. Okay? Pei Li felt the warm and soft palm on top of his head that he hadn't felt for a long time, and his eyes were a little sore. He couldn't remember how long it had been a long time since his mother had touched his head so gently. No matter how many things he had, no matter how powerful his abilities were, all he wanted was his mother's closeness. When Lin Yan put her hand down, the little guy was still in a daze. He seemed to miss the warmth and reached out to touch himself. The corners of his mouth curled up a little. Pei Li's complexion was much better, and he tried his best to smile. "Okay, sister, go back to work. I'll be good." Lin Yan was so adorable that she didn't want to work anymore. This kid was too obedient and sensible. "Okay, then I'll go out first. Since you're up so early, you can go and sleep for a while. Children are still growing and need to sleep more. And I will be obedient." Pei Yucheng walked Lin Yan to the door and handed her the keys. "I got someone to find your car for you." "Ah. That was great. I saved a lot of money. Otherwise, would have to buy a new one." Lin Yan looked delighted as she gazed at her old car. It was good to have a car that was a little worn out. Scratches and scratches could not be seen. Instead, it gave off a retro feeling. He didn't even need to repaint it. Pei Yucheng replied, "Drive slowly." Lin Yan nodded. "Got it. Mr. Pei, I'm counting on you for Xiaoli. This child is so well-behaved and sensible. I don't know how his parents could bear to abandon such a good son. If you don't want it, just give it to me. I'll take care of it." Lin Yan muttered angrily. Pei Yucheng was speechless. "Then I'll be leaving first." "Oh yeah, I will give you half of the money." Lin Yan replied generously. Pei Yucheng chuckled softly. "You don't have to share with me." How could I do that? You're also helping me take care of Xiaoli. Of course I have to share it with you." Lin Yan replied hastily. Pei Yucheng bent over and held the girl's waist as he kissed her deeply. "All right. I've already given it to you." Lin Yan was speechless. Oh my. 50,000 for a kiss? Wasn't this kiss a little too expensive? Lin Yan scratched her head. Then, she tiptoed and kissed him again. The man raised his eyebrows at Lin Yan's initiative. Lin Yan coughed softly. "I'll give you another one. Otherwise, I'll feel bad if I earn money too easily." Pei Yucheng was speechless, in the living room. After Lin Yan left, only the father and son remained in the living room. Pei Li's little face instantly changed from an innocent little boy to an expressionless machine. "If you want to use this method to monitor me, you don't have to. Do you think you can keep an eye on me?" Pei Yucheng didn't retort. He merely flipped through the book in his hand. Pei Li said coldly, "I know you want to chase me away, but you better give up on that thought." Pei Yucheng held Lin Yan's work schedule in his hand as he replied unhurriedly, "Your mother's work will end at 4 p.m. I'll take you to pick her up." Pei Li, hearing this, Pei Li's cold face froze. Pick mom up from work? Could he pick mom up together? Why would Pei Yucheng be so kind? The book review page 4, "I Have You for the Rest of My Life, Sweet and Warm Too," has begun. Babies, hurry up and participate. Chapter 1250. This man was probably keeping an eye on him. He was just a stranger to his mother, so he couldn't look for her. He could only go through Pei Yucheng. Regardless of Pei Yucheng's motive, the temptation of picking his mother up from work was too great. Pei Li couldn't resist. The father and son maintained a tacit understanding for the time being. When she reached the office, Lin Yan went to look for Xiaoyao. "Boss, Xiaoli is fine with me. My boyfriend is at home today, so he can help take care of him. Don't worry." Xiaoyao replied expressionlessly, "Okay." He naturally wasn't worried about their son. "Boss, if you have such a deal in the future, remember to look for me." Lin Yan didn't forget to drum up business. Xiaoyao raised his head and glanced at her. "That's all." Lin Yan grinned. "Boss, don't be so sure. Perhaps there is." Anyway, remember to look for me. I'll give you a discount. Half price for the second one. Alright, boss. I'm going to the team. Don't worry, I won't let you suffer a loss. Lin Yan didn't forget to express her loyalty to her boss. Xiao Yao said, I want to compete in the third level of the international competition. Ahem. What did you say? Lin Yan was so shocked that her heart almost stopped. Boss, you're the biggest shareholder of our team. How can you not live with your own money? Xiao Yao frowned and glanced at her. What do you mean? What else could he mean? Of course, it's because your driving skills are terrible. Lin Yan hurriedly explained, No, nothing. I don't mean that your driving skills are bad. What I mean is, boss, your driving skills are really too good. If you go on the track, what's the point of the others? You should give your employees a chance to perform. When I need you to step up, I'll definitely ask you to step up. Xiao Yao nodded. Okay. Tell me if you need money. Lin Yan's eyes lit up. Thank you, boss. You're so generous. Racing was a money-burning profession. Fortunately, she had Xiao Yao as an investor, so she didn't have to worry about funding. After chatting with Xiao Yao, Lin Yan went to the training ground. The team members were training intensely. Goddess, you're here. Mo Shuyun greeted her. He Letian, who was taking notes, rushed over to greet her. Sister, you're here. How's the team? Lin Yan glanced at the track. Sister, don't worry. Everything is going smoothly. With me here, there's nothing for you to worry about. He Letian patted his chest. It's precisely because you're here that I'm worried. Don't tell me you don't know. Fortunately, He Letian was self-aware. He knew that his skills were not good enough, so he took the initiative to do the logistics work. He was very familiar with the rules and requirements, so he did a good job. Lin Yan watched as the team trained. Boss Xiao has increased his investment again. Work hard. Wow. Boss Xiao was too generous. Sister, where did you find such a stupid and rich investor? Asked He Lifeng. Lin Yan glared at him. What are you talking about? What did it mean to be a fool with too much money? Boss Xiao's decision to invest in our Aurora team is a wise one. He Lifeng chuckled. Yes, it's fine as long as you're happy. End of chapter. Chapter 1251. Even if Sister Yan's racing skills were good, this was an international competition. Given Xiao Yao's wealth, he could invest in other teams that were more powerful. Even if he didn't invest in foreign teams, there was still the number one team, which had been established by the country's racing team. The two old teams had also announced that they would be representing the country in the international competition. Mo Shuyun said, "Oh yeah, goddess. Have you heard? I just received news that the Speed of Light team and the Thunderous Sound team will be participating in the competition. I heard that there hasn't been any news about these two teams in a long time, right?" asked Lin Yan. Yeah, I heard that these two teams have been secretly training for more than a year for this international competition. I reckon that they will be even stronger than before. Therefore, we won't just be facing foreign teams this time. We will also be facing strong domestic teams. Mo Shuyun said solemnly. He Lifeng mumbled, among the teams participating in the third level of the international competition, our team seems to be the weakest. At that moment, Chi Feng walked over from behind. As he took off his helmet, he said, "That can't be helped." Although the racing guild allowed Miss Lin to pick anyone she wanted, the strong racers had already been picked by the number one team. For example, the captain of D1 team, the chief captain of K1 team, and the other powerful racers are all in the number one team. Have we decided on the team for the third level? Asked Lin Yan. Although the racers in the country weren't within Lin Yan's consideration, if a few more racers could make it to the first level or even lose the second level, Aurora would be worth more. Xiaofan hurried over with a notebook. It's almost decided. Other than you, Sister Yan, Captain Mo, Brother Feng, Yun Xian, Zhou Yu, and Jing Xiran. Sister Yan, take a look. If there are no problems, we will announce the list today. Lin Yan nodded. With Mo Shuyun's approval, there wouldn't be any problems. Sure. Mo Shuyun clapped his hands and gathered everyone for a meeting. First of all, I have good news. Boss Xiao has increased his investment, so don't worry. Just do your best. Everyone cheered when they heard Mo Shuyun. Although they had been unhappy when they had been forced to come here, it seemed as though Lin Yan had a backer in the racing association. Aurora had qualified for the third level of the international competition. Most importantly, the team was well equipped and had money. After interacting with Mo Shuyun for a while, they recognized his management ability. During this period of time, they had been working hard to fight for the precious 6 spots to participate in the third level of the Global League. Now, I will announce the list of participants in the third level of the international tournament. Mo Shuyun took the name list from Xiaofan and announced his name. Qi Feng, Yun Xian, Zhou Yu, Jing Xiran, Xiao Haiqing, and Lin Yan. A total of 6 people. Those who were chosen were overjoyed, while those who weren't were disappointed. However, the list was based on the test results during this period of time. They weren't strong enough, so they couldn't do anything about it. After all, this was the third level of the Global League, where experts gathered. Even if they were qualified to participate, it would be a rare opportunity to experience it. Wait, I have a question. At this moment, Zhou Yu stood up. End of chapter. Chapter 1252. What's the problem? Speak. Mo Shuyun glanced at Zhou Yu. I don't have any objections to the other candidates, but Lin Yan. Zhou Yu glanced at Lin Yan suspiciously. Mo Shuyun replied, What's wrong with Lin Yan? Spit it out. Zhou Yu quipped, The 5 of us were selected through the tests, but Lin Yan has been missing for days. She didn't even take part in the tests. How could she qualify? Even if she's the boss of the team, as a team member, she has to speak with her ability. Many people present agreed with Zhou Yu's words, especially the few members who were just a hair's breadth away from being chosen. They were a little unconvinced. The international competition was a sacred place for all racers. They naturally couldn't accept such a precious opportunity being given to someone else. All of them were top racers in the country, while Lin Yan was just a newcomer who had competed a few times. Yeah, if they don't follow the rules, wouldn't the team be in chaos in the future? Qi Feng stepped forward as he listened to everyone's discussion. Hey, where did you put me? Some people fell silent after hearing Qi Feng's words. After all, Lin Yan had defeated Qi Feng during the competition, which meant that Lin Yan was faster than him. Logically speaking, if Qi Feng had been selected, Lin Yan should have been selected as well. Zhou Yu's face darkened. There are so many unexpected situations in the competition. The situation is ever-changing. Just because you won once doesn't mean that you can win every time. We've tested it countless times before coming to a decision. Qi Feng's face darkened. He was about to continue when Lin Yan pressed his shoulder. Zhou Yu, right? Lin Yan asked. What? Boss, are you not allowing us to speak the truth? Zhou Yu asked warily. Lin Yan grinned. Nothing much. As a member of the team, I have to explain something to everyone. I'm sorry that I haven't been able to participate in every training session because I have multiple jobs. This is indeed my personal problem. Lin Yan then added, Secondly, as the boss of the team, I have to say something. I have never set a rule or set a time limit for everyone to train or what kind of training methods we use. After all, racing is different from other professions. I don't need to look at these superficial things. No matter how you train, I only need results. That is speed. As long as you drive fast, everything is fine. Even if you don't come every day, it's okay. This is what I said when you first joined the team. Hearing this, the crowd fell silent. Lin Yan's words made sense, so they couldn't refute her. Even if that's the case, racing requires constant hard training. You're busy acting all day, and I don't see you train even once. Where would you find the time to focus on racing? Zhou Yu's expression was unfriendly. Lin Yan nodded. Zhou Yu, you're right. I hope that none of you will learn from me. Only those who are confident in their own abilities and have a clear understanding of their own abilities can do so. Zhou Yu burst into laughter when she heard Lin Yan. Lin Yan, aren't you exaggerating? Have enough confidence and a clear understanding of your own strength? Are you sure you have it? Miss Lin, why don't you let me learn a thing or two and have a race with me? Zhou Yu crossed her arms and sneered. Lin Yan nodded. Sure. End of chapter. Chapter 1253. He Lifeng noticed that Lin Yan was in a good mood today. Not only had she explained everything to him, but she had also agreed to compete with Zhou Yu. He was astonished. Sister, why are you so agreeable today? Normally, if she had this kind of time, she would have been busy making money. Lin Yan glanced at him. I'm the boss of a team. The most important thing for a team is unity. If I break it up, you have to compensate me. He Lifeng was speechless. Alright, so she was still trying to make money. Everything was different now that she was the boss. Zhou Yu had always been indignant about this actress who had gotten in through the back door. He had thought that she had been lucky to win against Qi Feng. When Lin Yan agreed, he was elated. His friend smiled and patted him on the shoulder. Zhou Yu, she is the boss after all. You should restrain yourself later. Don't let boss lose too badly. Zhou Yu grinned. Sorry, I'm asking you to slow down. That's too much. Soon, the two cars stopped at the starting line. Lin Yan leaned out of the window and said, "Let's race. We'll see how fast you can run." Zhou Yu replied, "Sure, boss. I'll do whatever you want." Buzz, the pleasant sound of a car engine was heard. Then, the two cars sped away from the starting line. It's starting. Why don't we record it? Otherwise, boss might lose her temper and fire Zhou Yu. Yeah. Hurry up and record. The team members were laughing and joking as they recorded the race. Gradually, they stopped laughing as they watched the video. In less than 10 seconds, Lin Yan had pulled away from Zhou Yu. When they looked again, Lin Yan was the only one left on the screen. Zhou Yu had been left far behind. 5 minutes and 48 seconds later, Lin Yan reached the finish line. F***CK. That's fast. 5 minutes and 48 seconds? That's the fastest we've ever raced. You must be kidding. That's way too fast. That monster, Lian Yunxian, only managed 5 minutes and 36 seconds. That's more than 10 seconds slower. Yunxian, who had been silent all this while, squeezed out of the crowd and stood in front. Although Lin Yan hadn't visited him often, she had personally helped Yunxian tune his car. She would also watch his videos and accurately point out his mistakes and problems. His racing skills had never improved so quickly. He had even surpassed Qi Feng and Mo Shuyun. The level of this team could no longer satisfy him. He had thought that he had surpassed Lin Yan. However, he realized that he had been wrong. Oh, awesome. Amazing. Although they weren't happy with Lin Yan, they were thrilled to see her racing skills. It seems like Lin Yan is indeed capable. Otherwise, how could he have defeated Qi Feng in the ranking competition? At the end of the match, Zhou Yu lagged behind by more than 20 seconds. It might seem like a difference of a few dozen seconds, but in a competition, even a short second could make a world of difference. How many racers had raced their entire lives without being able to surpass that 1 second? Zhou Yu was still in a daze when she got out of the car. Impossible, Lin Yan glanced at Zhou Yu. Again? Zhou Yu raised her head and said without hesitation, okay. He refused to believe that this woman's luck would always be so good. End of the chapter. Chapter 1254. Soon, the second match began. Ah! Oh my God! Lin Yan has broken the record again. How long is it this time? She's 3 seconds faster. I heard that Team 1's fastest time is only 5 minutes and 43 seconds. Lin Yan is almost as fast as Team 1. When they reached the finish line, Lin Yan had no intention of getting out of the car. Instead, she glanced at Zhou Yu. Shall we continue? Lin Yan knew that many people in the team didn't like her, so she wanted to establish her dominance today. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to continue managing them. Zhou Yu was still in a daze when Lin Yan asked him if he wanted to continue. Instinctively, he nodded. Again. Then, the heart-wrenching third match began. Lin Yan continued to break the record. F***CK. Lin Yan's speed has surpassed Team 1. She exceeded it by half a second. How can this woman be faster and faster? Then, it was the 4th time, the 5th time, the 6th time. Lin Yan had competed with Zhou Yu 8 times today. She had won 8 times in a row, and she was getting faster and faster. Zhou Yu's eyes were dazzled by the defeat. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't win. Lin Yan was like a huge mountain in front of him, not giving him any chance. He had never felt such a strong sense of oppression in all his years of racing. This woman was too terrifying. Do you want to continue? Lin Yan glanced at Zhou Yu. Zhou Yu was drenched in sweat. When he snapped back to his senses, he shook his head hastily. No, there's no need. Lin Yan nodded readily. Okay, let's stop here. Lin Yan glanced at the other team members. If you want to compete with me, you can do so. I have other work to do later. There's still an hour left. The other team members glanced at each other and retreated at the same time. Lin Yan's fastest speed was faster than Team 1. How could they dare? Didn't they see that Zhou Yu was in a daze? He had no chance to retaliate at all. If Qi Feng had been lucky and coincidental, could the 8 consecutive races be attributed to luck? It was no wonder that she had been able to recruit Mo Shuyun and Qi Feng. She had even been able to get the racing team to participate in the 3rd level of the international competition. No one had expected Lin Yan to be so powerful. She was even more powerful than she had revealed earlier. Given Lin Yan's capabilities, she could even make it to the first team. He just didn't know how it would compare to those 2 super powerhouse teams. The 2 old monsters had been training in seclusion for a year. At present, all the training was still kept secret. No one knew what level they had reached. When everyone fell silent, Lin Yan said, "That's all for today." Lin Yan took every competition seriously. She had a clear understanding of every competition. There was no need for her to waste her time on the 3rd level of the Global League. If it was a competition that pressured her, she would also train without sleep or night. Of course, she understood that these team members did not know the inside story and would have doubts. Therefore, the 5 matches today were actually intentional. Are you sure you don't want to continue? Lin Yan glanced at Zhou Yu. Zhou Yu's body stiffened and her legs went soft. She was so scared that she almost blacked out. No. You really don't have to continue. Boss, are you thirsty? I'll get you a glass of water. End of chapter. Chapter 1255. The other team members hurriedly avoided Lin Yan's gaze, as though they were afraid of being called out by the teacher. Boss. We'll go too. Boss. No. Daddy. Daddy, do you want coffee? Daddy. I'll buy you milk tea. Daddy, do you want ice cream? The group of people quickly found their own excuses and disappeared without a trace. Hadn't they seen how badly Zhou Yu had been beaten? They didn't want to experience 8 consecutive defeats. Lin Yan was speechless. What was wrong with all of them? Wasn't it enough to have one Pei Yutang? Why did they suddenly have a bunch of sons? Goddess, you're too strong. Mo Shuyun rubbed his nose, looking surprised. I didn't expect you to hide some of your strength. He Lifeng's face was flushed with excitement. Sister Yen. You're amazing. Do you know that you've surpassed a team in terms of speed? I suddenly have confidence that we might really be able to compete with those 2 old monsters and represent the country in the 2nd level of the international competition. Qi Feng was the happiest. Lin Yan had finally made him famous in these 5 competitions. Otherwise, people would mock him and say that he couldn't even beat a woman. Mo Shuyun glanced at the fleeing team members. As the captain, he had no choice but to speak to Lin Yan politely. Goddess, can we talk this over? Lin Yan asked, what's wrong? In the future, when you deal with your own people, show mercy. Look, Zhou Yu has been traumatized by you. Let's restrain ourselves. Mo Shuyun said. Lin Yan rubbed her chin. Didn't I restrain myself? I've already restrained myself. I'm afraid that I'll hurt their confidence. Was this considered restraint? Was she bragging or serious? Mo Shuyun was speechless, Qi Feng was speechless, He Lifeng was speechless, Zhou Yu was speechless. The corners of He Lifeng's mouth twitched. He wanted to say something, but he didn't dare utter a word. Although he felt that Lin Yan was exaggerating, he had been traumatized by Lin Yan's performance. He had only been a bystander, but he had felt a suffocating pressure. He had never imagined that Sister Yen would be so scary when she was serious, therefore, he didn't dare to question it. Lin Yan had not only established her reputation, but she had also given the rest of the team a lot of motivation and hope. Originally, they had the mentality of going to the 3rd level of the internationals to take a look. But now, they might really be able to enter the 2nd level of the International League. Even if the quota was limited and many of the team members could not compete and could only serve as substitutes, as long as the Aurora Racing team entered the 2nd level, their qualifications and value would be greatly increased. Lin Yan got ready to leave after she was done with the team. Just as she was about to leave, someone cautiously chased after her. Sister Yen, Yunxian. Lin Yan glanced at him. The young man was wearing the team's custom-made racing uniform. His naturally light flaxen hair was a little long and slightly covered his eyes. His face, which was fairer and more delicate than a girl's, had a bashful expression. He looked like he could be bullied by anyone. It was hard to tell that he would have such a stunning performance on the field. Yun Xian was the member who improved the fastest. Although Lin Yan had high hopes for Yun Xian, she hadn't expected him to be so talented. She had really picked up a treasure. Yun Xian. What's the matter? Lin Yan beamed at the sight of the seated racer. Chapter 1256. Yun Xian. What's the matter? Lin Yan beamed at the sight of her team's seated racer. Yun Xian wasn't good at socializing, so he wasn't good at conversing with others. When Lin Yan smiled at him, his ears turned red and he didn't know where to place his hands. Lin Yan couldn't help but chuckle when she saw how nervous Yun Xian was. What's wrong? Why are you so nervous today? Am I that scary? Yun Xian shook his head hastily. No. No. Sister Yan, I didn't mean that, I'm just joking. Take your time. Lin Yan comforted him. The difference between this kid's usual state and his state on the track was like heaven and earth. In the end, Yun Xian struggled for a long time. His face was flushed as he said nervously, Sister Yan, you can you, Lin Yan asked, can I what? He Lufeng spied Yun Xian standing alone with Lin Yan. Yun Xian was so nervous that his face was flushed. He hid in a corner and peeked at them. Mo Shuyun, who was walking behind him, knocked his head. Why are you sneaking around? It's Yun Xian. He's such a boring person. He won't speak unless he sends a message. Other than his car, he doesn't come into contact with anyone. Yet, he took the initiative to talk to Sister Yan. He Lufeng quipped. Mo Shuyun replied, so what? I don't think that kid is in a good mood. Is he going to confess to my sister? He Lufeng slapped his thigh. Mo Shuyun was shocked by He Lufeng's train of thought. Aren't you overthinking things? I'm overthinking things. Look at it yourself. If it's not a confession, why is he so nervous? Why is he blushing? Although he stuttered, he had never been this nervous before. There must be something fishy going on. This kid is addicted to racing. Could he have been stunned by my sister's driving skills and fallen in love with her? He Lufeng swore. Mo Shuyun stroked his chin as he glanced at the two of them. Although He Lufeng was a little neurotic, Lin Yan and Yun Xian were standing next to each other, which made him feel like he was about to explode. Captain, aren't you going to control him? He Lufeng said anxiously, I thought this kid was a taciturn person. I didn't expect him to be so daring. He even dared to target my sister. Mo Shuyun rolled his eyes at him. It's one thing for me to interfere with her training, but how can I interfere with her dating? It's almost time for the competition. Dating will affect your training. No, Captain, you have to take care of this. This concerns the future of our team. He Lufeng rolled up his sleeves. If you're not going, I'll go. Stinking brat. How dare you have designs on my sister? Just as He Lufeng was about to rush out, he heard Yun Xian muster his courage. Sister Yan, can you accept me as your disciple? Yun Xian was so nervous that his forehead was covered in sweat, as if he had used all the strength in his body to say these words. Lin Yan was speechless, He Lufeng was speechless. Mo Shuyun, huh? He Lufeng and Mo Shuyun were taken aback. Lin Yan was taken aback as well. Yun Xian's courage vanished as soon as he finished speaking. He looked like a deflated balloon as he waved his hands frantically. I just said it casually. Sorry. I was too presumptuous. Lin Yan patted her chest with lingering fear. You gave me a fright. So you wanted to become my disciple. I thought. He Lufeng turned to Mo Shuyun and said, see? Sister Yan also thought that the kid was confessing to her. I didn't think too much. Lin Yan added, I thought you wanted to borrow money from me. He Lufeng was speechless, Mo Shuyun was speechless. I think both of you are overthinking things. Chapter 1257. The milk tea wrapper in Yun Xian's hand was almost torn to shreds. He hurriedly explained, No. The team is paying me enough. I have more. I'm not borrowing money, Lin Yan pondered for a moment. It had been a long time since she had accepted a disciple. Lang Mang, butcher, and Sun Xuan had been troublesome. They had caused her so much trouble that she had been mentally and physically exhausted. Lang Mang was too reckless, Butcher was too aggressive, and Sun Xuan was always cheated by women. Only second brother was a little more mature, but only in front of her, his master. Usually, he especially liked to bully and provoke a few of his senior and junior brothers, causing them to complain to her every day, causing a lot of trouble. In short, after Lin Yan had accepted Sun Xuan as her last disciple, she had sworn that she would never accept another disciple. Yun Xian, who seemed to sense Lin Yan's hesitation, forced a smile and said, "Sister Yan, I'm sorry. I was just saying. Please. Don't take it to heart." Lin Yan glanced at the young man. Yun Xian was only 20 years old. He was so talented and had a bright future ahead of him. Many racers were hot-tempered, but Yun Xian was unusually quiet and gentle. He hadn't caused any trouble ever since he had joined the team. He had also trained very hard. To be honest, Lin Yan was tempted by such a good seedling. If he could meet a good master, his future achievements would be comparable to Lang Mang and the rest. However, it would be a pity if he went astray. Of course, the most important thing was that he was obedient. As for disciples, they had all graduated. She would just have to accept another obedient one. The next one would be even better and more obedient. Lin Yan contemplated for a long time before she glanced at Yun Xian, who was trying hard to hide his disappointment. She grinned and said, "Is this how you become a disciple? You didn't even prepare a cup of tea?" Yun Xian looked as though he couldn't believe his ears. "Sister Yan. You mean," Lin Yan chuckled softly. "If you don't despise me and sincerely want to be my disciple, I will accept you as my disciple." Yun Xian replied excitedly, "How could I despise you? I'm serious. Tea. I'll go get some tea." Yun Xian was flustered and he almost knocked his head against the wall. Lin Yan grabbed his collar helplessly to prevent his head from touching the wall. Then, she took the milk tea from Yun Xian's hands and took a sip with the straw. "Okay. From now on, you are my disciple." "But, this is milk tea." Yun Xian was dumbfounded. Lin Yan quipped, "Tea will do." Yun Xian, who hadn't expected that Lin Yan would agree so easily, stared at the cup of milk tea in disbelief. His eyes reddened as he stammered, "Sister Yan." Lin Yan asked, "Huh?" Yun Xian hurriedly corrected himself, "Master." Thank you, Master, for accepting me. I won't let you down, and I won't let you regret the decision you've made today." It was rare for Yun Xian to speak without stuttering. The more Lin Yan looked at Yun Xian's obedient behavior, the more pleased she felt. Good boy, this should be the correct way for his disciple to open it. Xiaofan couldn't hold it in any longer. He rushed out from behind. F***ck. "You stinking brat, you're too scheming. I thought you were going to confess to my sister. In the end, you're even worse. You want to be my disciple. Sister. Are you really going to accept this kid as your disciple?" Chapter 1258. Xiaofan, who couldn't hold it in any longer, dashed out from behind. F***ck. "You rascal. You're too scheming. I thought you were going to confess to my sister. In the end, you wanted to become her disciple. Sister. Are you really going to accept this lad as your disciple? If I don't accept him, should I accept you?" Lin Yan raised an eyebrow. "Wait a minute. Confess? What the hell? What kind of magical brain circuit is this?" Shouldn't you be borrowing money from me? Mo Shuyun was speechless. Goddess, your brain circuit isn't any better. Why can't you accept me? There should be a first come, first served rule. Besides, I'm your brother. Why should I let him get ahead of me? Xiaofan looked like he was about to cry. Not to mention that you are my younger brother, even if you were my son, would not accept you. I still want to live for 2 more years. Lin Yan ignored Xiaofan's whining and turned to Mo Shuyun. Captain Mo, Yun Xian can give me 3 days this week. I want to give him special training. Mo Shuyun grinned. Okay. Goddess, how could I not give him to you? He can follow you around all day. Yun Xian nodded immediately. Okay. Lin Yan chuckled. He's just teasing you. Why would he need to follow me around all day? I'll let you know in advance. Lin Yan was in a good mood after taking in an obedient disciple. She took some time to log into her social media account, which she hadn't used in a long time. Then, she posted a status update on her WeChat moments. Yeva, the next one is better. The next one will be more obedient __. Lin Yan didn't have many people on her social media account. Most of them were her team members and her disciples. Her disciples were the first to explode when Lin Yan posted her status update. Lang Mang, oh my god. Oh my god. Master, you're finally here. Do you know that I've been waiting for you for so long? The international competition is about to begin. Master. It's been 2 years. Are you really not coming back? Master, the international competition will be held in the country this year. We'll be heading there soon. Master, are you still in the country? I want to see you. Ah. Death Butcher, I'm more concerned about the meaning of the next one will be better and the next one will be more obedient. Sun Xuan, why do I have a bad feeling about this? Master, don't tell me, you have a dog outside. A new disciple? Lang Mang, F***ck, no way. Master, it's impossible. Second brother, you jinxed it. Don't spout nonsense. I'll F*** king 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 F. Asterisk king F 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 asterisk. Sun Xuan, Master said that I'm her last disciple. She won't accept anyone else. Maybe Master just found a new boyfriend. With Master's EQ, do you think it's more likely that she took in a new disciple or a new boyfriend? Sun Xuan. It's unlikely that I'll get a boyfriend. Okay, I think it's more likely that I'll get a new disciple. Lin Yan refreshed her page and realized that this bunch of rascals had started to comment on her post. They were even criticizing her EQ. What happened to her EQ? Not only did she accept a new disciple, but she also had a new boyfriend. When the time came, she would definitely sneak out with her boyfriend and dazzle all these rascals. The international competition, yeah. The international competition was about to begin. When the time came, those rascals would definitely come looking for her. She was afraid that they would cause trouble again. Chapter 1259. After they left, Lin Yan attended an event with Duo. When the event was about to end, she read Pei Yucheng's message. Pei Yucheng, do you want to have dinner together tonight? Lin Yan, sure. But, what about Xiao Li? Pei Yucheng, bring Xiao Li along. Lin Yan typed, sure. Pei Yucheng, we'll wait for you in the underground parking lot. Lin Yan entered the underground parking lot through the VIP entrance. Duo nagged at her as she walked. What did Xiao Keshuan mean? The organizers clearly arranged for you to appear as the finale, but she dilly-dallied and insisted on dragging it out until the end, snatching your finale. Lin Yan waved her hands dismissively. I'm in a hurry to eat. It's better to appear earlier. Duo glared at her. Can you be more mindful? Now that your status is rising, your resources are getting better and better. When legend airs, you'll definitely become even more popular. That's why she has been trying to suppress you. Besides, she has been getting closer to Lin Shuya. I wonder what she's up to. Lin Yan stroked Duo's cheeks. Look at you. You're always worried. You're almost like an old lady. Don't worry. No matter what they've done in the dark, no one in Summit Entertainment can touch me. Duo sighed. Don't think that you'll be fine just because you have Pei Yucheng's support. I'm worried because of him. Although Lin Yan had Pei Yucheng's connections, Xiao Keshuan had the backing of the Crown Prince, Pei Yutang. Hence, she had maintained a stable position all these years. The worst part was that Lin Yan's relationship with Pei Yucheng was extremely dangerous. If word got out, she would be done for. Pei Yucheng's fans would crush her to ashes. Ever since she had confirmed that Lin Yan and Pei Yucheng were dating, Duo had been on tenterhooks every day. It was as though she was walking on a tightrope. Lin Yan was speechless. Why did this child think that there was something going on between her and Pei Yucheng? Lin Yan was about to speak when a tiny figure dashed towards her. Sister. Xiao Li. Lin Yan beamed at the sight of the adorable little fellow. All her worries and exhaustion were forgotten. Big sister. Xiao Li misses you so much. The little fellow's eyes lit up when he saw her. It was as if he had the whole world in his hands. As if he wasn't used to saying such things, the tips of the little fellow's ears turned red, and his little face looked a little embarrassed. Lin Yan's heart melted as she stroked the little fellow's head. I missed you too. I'll bring you out for a feast later. She obviously didn't like children, so why did she like this little guy that she met by chance so much? At the same time, Duo, who was standing behind Lin Yan, stared at the little boy who had appeared out of nowhere. This child is... Before Lin Yan could introduce him, Duo shrieked. Oh my God. What's wrong? Lin Yan looked confused. Duo pulled Lin Yan aside and shook her violently. You. Sister Yan. Is he your illegitimate child with Mr. Pei? Lin Yan was speechless. What the hell? Lin Yan was perplexed. Excuse me. Where did you get such a terrifying idea? End of this chapter. Chapter 1260. Duo stole glances at the child as she muttered incoherently, isn't that so? This child's eyes look so much like yours. His mouth and eyebrows look like Mr. Pei's too. Lin Yan slapped her forehead. Please. This child is so adorable. How does he look like me? He doesn't look like Mr. Pei at all. Lin Yan glanced at Xiao Li and realized that he bore some resemblance to Pei Nanxiu. Wasn't it normal for good-looking people to look alike? Lin Yan shook her head hastily. Duo. You're thinking too much. This is the child of a friend of one of my bosses. His parents aren't around, so he asked me to take care of him for a few days. Duo looked skeptical. Do you think I'm stupid? You're busy earning money every day. You have to spend your free time playing games to earn some extra money. Why would you be so free as to take care of someone else's child? Tell me the truth. What's your relationship with this child? Lin Yan replied, my boss gave me 100,000 yuan a month. Duo stammered, Duo was rendered speechless by Lin Yan's words. Lin Yan asked, is there anything else you want to ask? Duo fell silent for some time before she replied, you're an actress, a racer, a singer, a gamer, and now you're a nanny. Isn't that too much of a leap for you? Wouldn't an actress who didn't want to be a racer be a good nanny? Lin Yan glanced at her and replied matter-of-factly, why wouldn't I earn money? So you're really a nanny, Duo muttered under her breath, wondering if she had overreacted. But he really looks like you. You look like a mother and son when you stand next to him. I should look like a brother and sister when I stand next to sister. Pei Li's childish voice rang out from behind her. Lin Yan was elated as she stroked Pei Li's head. Ha ha ha. Little Li, be good. She glanced at Duo. Look at this child. He's so sweet. Duo could tell that Lin Yan didn't look guilty, so she didn't say anything else. If he had been an illegitimate child, Lin Yan wouldn't have dared to bring him out so openly, but this child is really cute. His eyes are too beautiful. How good must his parents' genes be to give birth to such a beautiful child? I don't think you and Mr. Pei would be able to give birth. Duo stared at Pei Li's face and couldn't help praising him. Lin Yan felt inexplicably proud when she heard Duo praise Thunderbolt. Of course. After saying that, Duo sighed. Then be careful with the kid. Don't get caught, I know. Go back quickly. I'm going to bring Xiaoli to eat. After Duo left, Pei Yucheng got out of a black car. Lin Yan replied, sorry, you must have waited a long time. Pei Yucheng replied, it's fine. Lin Yan couldn't help but complain to Pei Yucheng. Duo has been acting weird lately. She actually suspected that Xiaoli is my illegitimate child with Mr. Pei. Pei Yucheng was speechless, Lin Yan was speechless. She even said that Xiaoli's eyes look like mine, and his eyebrows and mouth look like Mr. Pei's. How do they look alike? Lin Yan sighed heavily. If I had such an adorable son, I would be so happy. Duo thought, I don't think you and Mr. Pei could give birth to such a beautiful and adorable child. Lin Yan thought, I might not be as good as Mr. Pei, but I can with his brother. End of this chapter. Chapter 1261. If she could have such an adorable son, she would be overjoyed. Pei Li's face lit up with joy when he heard Lin Yan. However, the light in his eyes instantly dimmed. What mommy likes are cute kids. If his mother knew what he really looked like, she wouldn't like him anymore. Hence, he couldn't let his mother find out. Pei Yucheng adjusted his glasses and asked, don't you want a daughter? Lin Yan asked, huh? Who said that? Pei Yucheng quipped, I asked you how many children you wanted. A son or a daughter? You said one, a daughter. Pei Li glanced at Lin Yan nervously. Lin Yan suddenly recalled what she had said. She had indeed said that she only wanted one child. She wanted a daughter. Lin Yan coughed softly. If she's as cute as Xiaoli, a son is fine too. Two is fine too. Pei Yucheng raised his eyebrows and asked, do you still want a daughter? Lin Yan scratched her head. A daughter is fine too. Pei Yucheng nodded. Yeah, you can have whatever you want. Lin Yan was speechless. Wait, something was wrong. Why would Pei Yucheng ask her such a serious question? He made it sound as though they were planning for a future child. He even made it sound as though they really had 2 sons. Sister, do you want to have a little sister in the future? Pei Li glanced at Lin Yan. Lin Yan chuckled. I was just chatting. I haven't thought that far ahead. Pei Li glanced at Pei Yucheng and told Lin Yan solemnly, Sister, if you want to have a little sister, I think the baby's genes are very important. Of course, your genes are very good, but Daddy's genes are also very important. Pei Li emphasized the words Daddy. Lin Yan found the little fellow's solemn expression amusing. Yeah, you're right. That's why I found a child with good genes. Lin Yan began to imagine what their child would look like in the future. Pei Li was speechless. Pei Li had wanted to remind Lin Yan, but he hadn't expected her to retort. Pei Yucheng couldn't help but smile when he heard her. Meanwhile, M Nation, Pei's headquarters. In the small garden, a little boy who looked like he was carved out of jade was sitting listlessly on a chair with his chin resting on his hand. From time to time, he would look in the direction of the courtyard gate. After a while, a young man in a butler uniform hurried over. What took you so long? The little fellow looked at the young man with a face full of displeasure. You're half an hour late this time. I'm sorry, young master. The young man apologized while trembling with fear. Hurry up and give it to me. The little guy couldn't wait to look at the thing in his hand. The young man held an expensive ultra-high-definition camera in his arms and looked a little flustered. Young master. Why don't you wait for me to sort out the photos before showing them to you? The little fellow's face immediately darkened. Ingot, why are you so talkative today? While speaking, the little fellow had already stood in front of the young man and snatched the camera from his arms. Then, the little guy sat back on the recliner with satisfaction and began to flip through the photos inside. Chapter 1262. All the photos in the camera were of the same woman. The quality of the photos was so high that even a strand of hair could be seen clearly. Mommy, you're so pretty. It was rare for the little fellow to reveal his childish side. He cupped his little face, happy for a moment, then disappointed for a moment. Mommy. You've forgotten about Daddy. Forget about Pei Li. Why did you have to forget about me too? I'm so cute. The young man was speechless, but, cute? It was more like scary. As Pei Qian was looking at the photos, the young man had been watching him anxiously, as though he was afraid that Pei Qian would discover something. Ingot, why are you so nervous? Did you do something wrong? Pei Qian noticed the young man's panic and asked coldly. The young man shook his head hurriedly. No. Young master, I wouldn't dare. I'm just afraid that master you will find out. Pei Qian snorted coldly. So what if he finds out? I promised not to disturb Mommy. Can't I just look at Mommy's photos? No. I didn't mean that. The young man replied weakly. I'll forgive you on account of your good photos. They're much better than the paparazzi. Pei Qian looked through them carefully one by one before returning the camera to her. To prevent his father from finding out, he deleted the photos after looking at them. The young man heaved a sigh of relief when Pei Qian didn't seem to notice anything. He took the camera back. However, just as Pei Qian was about to hand the camera back, he snatched it back. Hold on. The young man's legs trembled in fear. Young master, what's wrong? What's this? Pei Qian zoomed in on one of the photos and stared intently at a shadow in the villa. The young butler looked closely and saw a small shadow and a silhouette. **T. The butler suppressed his panic. Young master, it's just a shadow, right? Pei Qian gritted his teeth. Shadow? It's Pei Li's shadow. The butler was speechless. How could he recognize him? Pei Qian was so angry that he slammed the glass table beside him. It's just a shadow and a silhouette. I would recognize him even if he turned into ashes. Tell me the truth. What's going on? Why is that bastard beside Mommy? The butler was on the verge of tears. I don't know. I really don't know. Pei Qian clenched his fists tightly. So, you took photos of Pei Li from the start, right? You purposely deleted all the photos of Pei Li, afraid that I would find out. It's a pity that he missed one and was discovered by me. I was wondering why you were so nervous today. So you're hiding something from me. Pei Qian was so angry that he spun around like a flaming wheel. The butler didn't expect Pei Qian to be so smart that he could even discover Pei Li from a shadow. He wanted to cry, but no tears came out. In a short while, the whole garden was ruined. Why? What right did Pei Li have to look for his mother? But I can't. I've been obedient and endured for so long, but all of you actually hid it from me. Let Pei Li see his mother. But you won't let me see him. Young master, calm down, calm down. The butler was so anxious that he scrambled to follow behind him. He was almost hit on the head by a flying stone stool. Calm down. How am I supposed to calm down? You big liar. You only know how to make me behave. You only know how to threaten me. You only know not to let me see my mother. But you let Pei Li see his mother behind my back. Why can Pei Li see his mother but not me? Why can Pei Li see his mother but not me? Why can you? The butler dodged all sorts of things that Pei Li threw as he chased after him pathetically. It's over, it's over. The little devil has completely gone berserk. However, my boyfriend is here too. Is that convenient for you? Sure, Xiaoyao replied. Lin Yan replied, all right then. I will send you the location. You can come here directly. End of chapter. Chapter 1264. Soon, Lin Yan, Pei Yucheng, and Pei Li arrived at the restaurant. Xiaoyao's office was very close to the restaurant, so it would take them at most 10 minutes to arrive. Hence, they only ordered some drinks and snacks. They were going to order together when Xiaoyao arrived. Lin Yan handed the menu to Pei Li. Xiaoli, take a look at the menu and see if there's anything you like. Sister, order something. I'm fine with anything, Xiaoli replied. The more Lin Yan looked at the obedient little fellow, the more she liked him. This child was just like his name. He was so polite. No wonder he was called Xiaoli. However, she didn't know his surname. Xiaoyao had said that he didn't know who Xiaoli's father was, so Lin Yan naturally wouldn't raise this question. The three of them waited for about half an hour, but Xiaoyao still hadn't arrived. Lin Yan guessed that there was a traffic jam. He should be driving, so she didn't call him. The three of them waited for another 10 minutes, but Xiaoyao still hadn't arrived. Lin Yan had no choice but to send him a voice message to ask when he would arrive. Xiaoyao replied that he would be here soon. Thus, Lin Yan continued to wait. In the end, she waited for half an hour. What's going on? Even if there's a traffic jam, he should be here, right? Lin Yan sent him a second message to ask when he would arrive. Xiaoyao replied, soon. Did you get delayed by something on the way? Lin Yan pinched her eyebrows. It didn't matter if the two of them waited, but she didn't want Xiaoli to starve. Order Xiaoli's food first. Let the child eat first. Don't let him starve. Lin Yan said. Pei Yucheng nodded. Okay. Pei Li replied considerately, Sister, I'm fine. I can wait. Didn't Uncle Xiao say that he would be here soon? Lin Yan stroked the little fellow's head. It's fine if we wait for a while, but you're still a child. You can't starve. It's fine. You can eat first. Your Uncle Xiao won't mind. Pei Li lowered his eyes and fell silent. He hadn't expected Xiao Yao to be so late. Xiao Ji might be able to be late for dinner, but given Xiao Yao's character, he shouldn't have made such a low-level mistake. Could it be that something important had been delayed? In the end, Lin Yan insisted that Pei Li order the dishes first before waiting for Xiao Yao. Lin Yan waited for a while, but he didn't appear. She had no choice but to send Xiao Yao a message. Boss, where are you? Did something happen? Xiao Yao quickly replied, It's okay. I'm almost there. Lin Yan replied, Okay then. Another half an hour passed, and their dishes were almost all served. Xiao Yao finally arrived. Lin Yan had brought Pei Li to sit with her, while Pei Yucheng sat opposite her. Hence, Xiao Yao could only sit next to Pei Yucheng. One of them was wearing a pair of gold-rimmed glasses, looking aloof and aloof. The other was dressed in a suit and looked expressionless. They exchanged a glance as a form of greeting before they sat down opposite Lin Yan. The moment Xiao Yao appeared, Lin Yan felt as though there were invisible sparks in the air. Lin Yan glanced at her phone and realized that Xiao Yao was 2 hours late. Worried that something had happened to him, she asked, Boss, what took you so long? Did you get into an accident on the way? Xiao Yao replied, No. Lin Yan asked, Huh? Was there a delay along the way? Pei Li glanced at Xiao Yao as well. What could be more important than seeing his mother? Xiao Yao replied, No. Lin Yan asked, Then what happened? Xiao Yao glanced at Lin Yan. Nothing much. I got lost. Chapter 1265. Xiao Yao glanced at Lin Yan. Nothing. I'm lost. Lin Yan was speechless, Pei Li was speechless, Pei Yucheng was speechless, Lin Yan was exasperated and speechless. He was lost again. The main point was that it was so close. It was only a 10-minute journey. How could he get lost? The first time she had seen him, he had been lost. Later, she remembered that she had gone to save Xing Chen. She hadn't been confident, so she had asked Xiao Yao for help. In the end, she had chased the man in black away. She had waited for an entire night, but Xiao Yao hadn't come. Why hadn't he come? He had replied that he was lost and had been looking for him all night. Lin Yan sighed heavily. How could you get lost when it's so close? Besides, didn't I send you your location? Xiao Yao replied expressionlessly, It was an accident that I got lost. It has nothing to do with my location. Lin Yan replied, Haha. This conversation. Don't you find it familiar? That's what you told me the last time. It was exactly the same. That was incredible. Pei Li's face cracked as well. He had never imagined that Xiao Yao, who seemed perfect in all aspects, would have such a terrible sense of direction. Pei Li had no choice. He had already made his choice. He could only speak up to break the awkward atmosphere. Sister, Uncle Xiao, you must be hungry. Hurry up and order something. Lin Yan, who felt her stomach growling, hurriedly picked up the menu. Hurry up and order. I'm so hungry. There were only 2 menus on the table, so Lin Yan took one and handed the other to Xiao Yao and Pei Yucheng. Do you too want one? There seems to be something wrong somewhere. No need. Help me, Pei Yucheng said. Lin Yan asked, Huh? Don't you want to order something? Pei Yucheng replied, you know my taste. You can order. Pei Yucheng's taste? Did she know? That's right. Pei Yucheng couldn't tell what it tasted like, so he could choose any flavor. Although that was what Lin Yan was thinking, Xiao Yao and Pei Li didn't know that in their ears, it sounded as though Lin Yan and Pei Yucheng were very close. They were so close that they knew all his likes and dislikes. The cocktails here are pretty good. You can try them, Xiao Yao said. Lin Yan perked up immediately. Sure. Pei Yucheng was around today, so he could drive. He glanced at Lin Yan. You can't drink today. Why? You're here too. You can help me drive. Lin Yan knew that he didn't drink. Pei Yucheng took a sip of the lemon water and replied calmly, it's your period today. You shouldn't drink. Xiao Yao, Pei Li, Lin Yan was startled. How? How did you know? Pei Yucheng asked, is it strange that I know? Lin Yan pondered for a moment. Her period had coincidentally come when he had possessed her. Had he remembered her period then? Oh. All right then. Lin Yan replied regretfully. Although Pei Yucheng was usually gentle, he was very stubborn when it came to matters of principle. When Pei Li saw that the situation wasn't right, his face couldn't help but sink. This development was completely different from what he had imagined. It hadn't been easy for him to bring Xiao Yao and his mother together. He wasn't here to watch his father flaunt their affection. Lin Yan, Mr. Pei, my boss wants to eat with us. Pei Yucheng, sure, let him eat. There's enough dog food. Pei Li was speechless, Xiao Yao was speechless, today's dog food is over. Babies, happy winter solstice. End of this chapter. Chapter 1266. Other than Lin Yan, the other three people had their own thoughts. The atmosphere turned awkward. After a long silence, Pei Li said, Sister, Uncle Xiao cooks very well. Let him cook for you next time. Lin Yan was surprised. Boss, you know how to cook? Not bad, replied Xiao Yao. Forget it. I wouldn't dare ask boss to cook for me. Lin Yan grinned. Pei Li hurriedly said, Sister, boys should take care of girls. It's only right that they cook for girls. Pei Li glanced at Pei Yucheng and asked, Uncle Pei, do you know how to cook? Lin Yan replied, this was a dangerous question. Pei Yucheng replied, I can. Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Yucheng's eyes met his son's as he said, I can cook for you next time. Pei Li glanced at him. Sure. I hope Uncle Pei won't just say that. Lin Yan choked on her lemon water and glanced at Pei Li, baby, do you know how big a hole you've dug for yourself? For the time being, the meal was finished in peace. I'll pay the bill. When it was time to pay the bill, Xiao Yao took the initiative to pay. Lin Yan's eyes lit up. Thank you, boss. Boss, you're so generous. Pei Li's expression softened a little. Fortunately, Xiao Yao was generous enough. This was also a trait that attracted his mother. The three of them walked out of the restaurant and waited for someone to park their car. At that moment, the big screen in the shopping mall was broadcasting a piece of entertainment news. This year's rich list has been released. JM Corporation CEO, Pei Yucheng, has topped the list. He is once again the richest man in the country. Pei Yucheng is definitely the richest man in the country. 2 years ago, JM Corporation expanded its business territory like crazy. Its business has spread all over. Lin Yan was speechless. It felt magical to suddenly see gossip about her boyfriend on TV. Although Pei Corporation was one of the top conglomerates in the country, Pei Yucheng had always kept a low profile. He rarely appeared in public and had never accepted interviews from the media. Unless it was an important business event, the national media would report on it. No media had dared to report on Pei Yucheng's private life. The only photo of Pei Yucheng had been accidentally leaked by Pei Nanxiu. The media hadn't dared to report on Pei Yucheng's wealth without JM Corporation's approval. Hence, even though Lin Yan knew that Pei Yucheng was rich, this was the first time she had heard that he was the richest man in the country. He had even won multiple awards. When Lin Yan looked at him, he seemed to be sparkling like the god of fortune. Pei Li's expression, which had just eased up a little, immediately darkened again after seeing this gossip. He even suspected that Pei Yucheng had done it on purpose. Lin Yan raised her head to read the news on the screen. Pei Yucheng, do you know what my dream is? Pei Yucheng asked, what? My dream is to work hard to earn money. I'm going to be the richest woman in the world. I just didn't expect that you would snatch it away from me. Lin Yan sighed heavily. Pei Yucheng glanced at the girl and raised his eyebrows. His eyes were filled with gentleness. You already are. She was going to be the richest woman in the world? Lin Yan was speechless, Pei Li was speechless, Xiao Yao was speechless. After rushing for 4 days, he had finally signed all the autographs. He would send them to the printer today and they would ship them out as soon as possible. He was in a hurry. Merry Christmas, babies. End of this chapter. Chapter 1267. At Summit Entertainment, in Chu Jiayao's office, Qiao Kechuan seemed to have rushed over from an event. She was dressed in a gorgeous suit as she sat on the couch opposite Chu Jiayao. Her expression was cold and distant. Her manager, who was dressed in a champagne-colored suit, looked sullen as well. She glanced at Chu Jiayao and snapped, "Boss, what do you mean by this? Why did you let Lin Yan appear at the finale today? What have you done to Kechuan?" Chu Jiayao looked as though he was trying to smooth things over. "Director Zheng, it wasn't the company's decision to let Lin Yan appear at the finale. It was the request of the organizer. Shouldn't the company protect Kechuan's interests? How could a newcomer like Lin Yan be placed above Kechuan? If word gets out, Kechuan will lose all her face." Zheng Xijie retorted angrily. "Director Zheng, I believe you know that this is a request from the sugar daddy. Even the company can't change this. If Kechuan is really unhappy with the order and is worried about lowering her status, she can choose not to participate." Chu Jiayao quipped. Zheng Xijie was fuming. How could Kechuan miss such an important event? How could she not participate? However, she couldn't refute Chu Jiayao's words. Given the organizer's background, Summit Entertainment couldn't influence the decision. Besides, I heard that Kechuan will be the finale today. Chu Jiayao tried to smooth things over. Qiao Kechuan's face darkened when Chu Jiayao mentioned it. She had to wait for more than half an hour just to be the finale. Given her status and background, she had never suffered such humiliation before. Zheng Xijie, who was standing beside her, snapped, "President Chu, are you pretending to be ignorant? Today, if it wasn't for me helping Kuxian fight for what was right and forcing her not to go on stage, would she have been able to go on stage at the end? When has Kechuan ever been the finale? When has she ever suffered such humiliation?" Zheng Xijie's frustration erupted. "All right. Even if this event doesn't count, what about the company's resources? In the past, Kechuan could choose whatever resources she wanted. Now, they have given so many resources to Lin Yan. The cover of last week's magazine, the United Nations Conference, and the female lead in the movie. Kuxian was obviously the one who wanted it. Why did she give it to Lin Yan?" Chu Jiayao furrowed his brows. Those resources were indeed because Lin Yan's image was more suitable. The director also chose her after a formal audition. Zheng Xijie folded her arms across her chest. "President Chu, are you saying that Kechuan is inferior to Lin Yan? Chu Jiao's mouth twitched. Xiao Kechuan wasn't as capable as Lin Yan. Ever since Lin Yan had joined Summit Entertainment, she had become a workaholic. Even if Chu Jiao disregarded his relationship with Pei Yucheng, as a boss, he liked this kind of employee. Chapter 1268. Xiao Kechuan, who had been eavesdropping for a long time, was burning with rage. She could tell that Chu Jiao was trying to smooth things over. He was obviously trying to protect Lin Yan. In the past, Chu Jiao would never have dared to treat her this way. As long as she wanted something, it would be hers. Xiao Kechuan had the final say in Summit Entertainment, and no one would dare to compete with her. She had never imagined that Lin Yan would be able to win over Chu Jiao. Xiao Kechuan sneered coldly and glanced at Chu Jiao. President Chu, why are you so protective of Lin Yan? What's your relationship with her? Chu Jiao coughed violently when he heard her. He was almost scared to death. What kind of joke was this? What kind of relationship could he have with Lin Yan? Chu Jiao waved his hands dismissively as he explained, Kechuan, you can't spout nonsense. What kind of relationship could I have with Lin Yan? Of course, we are a superior and a subordinate, a boss and an employee. That's right. He and Lin Yan were merely a superior and a subordinate, a boss and an employee. Really? Xiao Kechuan clearly didn't believe him. President Chu, even heroes have a weakness for the charms of a beautiful woman. I know that, but I hope that you won't be blinded by her beauty. You have to think twice before you act. Xiao Kechuan's threat was obvious. She was telling him not to offend Pei Yutong because of a woman. At this moment, Chu Jiao really wanted to die. Why couldn't he explain himself? If President Pei were to hear this, he would lose his life. Chu Jiao hadn't wanted to offend either side, but Xiao Kechuan was too aggressive. He had no choice but to speak harshly. In any case, he wasn't afraid of Xiao Kechuan. Xiao Kechuan's backer was third young master, while Lin Yan's backer was President Pei. Hence, Chu Jiao straightened his face and said solemnly, Kechuan, let me repeat myself. This isn't what you think. Please be careful with your words and actions. Don't make baseless conjectures. I've made myself very clear. All this while, Lin Yan has obtained all the resources with her own ability. Neither I nor anyone else in the company has given her any special treatment. The entertainment industry has always been a place where those who are popular have access to resources. Lin Yan's public image and acting skills are obvious to all. The investors have acknowledged her ability. Zheng Xijie smirked. It seems like Lin Yan's ability to seduce men is well deserved. Who would have thought that even President Chu would succumb to her? Xiao Kexian didn't expect Chu Jiao to be so tough. She was so angry that she laughed. Since President Chu says so, I have nothing else to say. President Chu, please protect him. However, I have something to tell you. If I want to blacklist someone, no one has been able to make a comeback. Chu Jiao, Xiao Kechuan wanted to ban Lin Yan. Chapter 1269. Meanwhile, in Zhao Hongling's office, Sister Ling. Sister Ling. Bad news. Duo pushed the door open, panting heavily. What's wrong? Zhao Hongling raised her head from the pile of scripts. Qian Duo leaned over and whispered, Sister Ling, I heard that Xiao Kechuan had a huge argument with President Chu. He even said that he wants to fire Sister Yan. Zhao Hongling massaged her temples. What she had been most worried about had happened. Duo, who looked flustered, paced back and forth. Although Xiao Keshuan has third young master support, Sister Yen has Mr. Pei. Nothing will happen to her, right? After all, this wasn't the first time Xiao Keshuan had done something like this. In the past, she had never had a chance to stand up for herself. Zhao Hongling mulled it over. That's true, but we can't expose their relationship. Under such circumstances, Pei Nanxiu has too many things to worry about. It wouldn't be convenient for him to intervene. Otherwise, it would be terrible if their relationship was exposed. If their relationship was exposed, it would be detrimental to Lin Yan. You're right. Duo sounded worried. Besides, I heard that Mr. Pei is very close to third young master and his brother. He dotes on his brother a lot. If things get out of hand, I don't think he will help Sister Yen. Sister Ling, what should we do now? I heard that third young master will be attending the meeting next week. He will definitely cause trouble. Duo sounded anxious. Don't tell Lin Yan about this. She has been working hard recently and is exhausted. Besides, her team is about to compete. Don't distract her, said Zhao Hongling. Duo nodded. Oh, I got it. We can only keep it a secret for a few days, but I don't think it will last long. The annual meeting is next week. Who knows what will happen then? Meanwhile, at Cloud Manor, out of habit, Lin Yan had just taken a shower and was browsing for gossip. She realized that Pei Yucheng's wealth was trending, and JM Corporation had no intention of doing anything about it. JM Corporation, the corporation seemed to have acquiesced to the news, as all the media outlets started to share it. Coincidentally, a few days ago, Lin Yan had posted on her Weibo account. I want to be the richest woman in the world. No one can stop me from making money. Most of the comments were from her fans, who were joking with her. They wanted Lin Yan to be their sugar mommy after she became the richest woman in the world. The haters were all mocking her for overestimating herself. Recently, after the wealth list was released, many haters deliberately posted a screenshot of the list in the comments section, telling her not to humiliate herself. Other than Pei Yucheng, Lin Yan was surprised to see Pei Yutang's name. It wasn't in the racing section, but in the gossip. Recently, many gossip bloggers had been posting gossip about Pei Yutang and Xiao Keshuan. It was a love story about the two of them becoming acquainted with each other through racing. It was quite a beautiful story. However, as someone who knew Pei Yutang better, she felt that he wasn't worthy of such a beautiful love story. However, seeing that he had invested in the Aurora racing team, he would not mock him. She would talk to him in a few days and ask him to increase his investment. It wasn't that she wanted to earn more money, but his team had no future. It would be a waste of money. It would be better to invest it in Aurora Racing. Double the investment, 10 times the return. End of this chapter. Chapter 1270. The next day, Zhao Hongling said that she had been working hard recently, so she had given her 2 days off. She wanted to make use of this time to train Yun Xian. There were only a few days left before the competition. If Yun Xian could accept her special training, he would definitely be able to break through given his talent. Shaoli, Big Sister has work to do today. Are you willing to go with Big Sister to work? Lin Yan asked gently. I might be a little busy, and the place I work is a little dangerous. You can't stay by my side. I'll get someone to take care of you. Is that okay? Pei Li lowered his head and fell silent. He was willing. Of course, he was willing to be with his mother. However, he knew very well that he would be a burden to his mother. If his mother found him troublesome, would she dislike him? He would never allow that to happen. In the end, Pei Li raised his head and shook it. Sister, it's not convenient for you to bring me along. I can stay at home by myself. Don't worry about me. I won't run around. Lin Yan knew that this child was sensible, but she hadn't expected him to be so considerate and considerate. Besides, she had sensed that this child didn't want to stay at home alone. What kind of environment could make such a young child develop such a well-behaved and sensible character? It was a good thing to be obedient and sensible, but this child seemed to be a little too sensible. Although he had only been home for 2 days, he had been careful and cautious, as though he was afraid that she would be unhappy. Lin Yan spoke gently, afraid that she would scare him. It's not inconvenient for me. I'm just worried that you don't like to interact with strangers. Let me take care of him. Pei Yucheng walked out of the study with Cheng Imo trailing behind him. Don't you have a meeting today? Don't you have to go to the office? Lin Yan asked. It's fine. You can take him to the office. Someone will take care of him, replied Pei Yucheng. Pei Li frowned subtly when he heard Pei Yucheng. Cheng Imo, who was hugging a stack of documents behind Pei Yucheng, stiffened and looked as though he was going to melt. No way. He had to come here every morning to see the little devil. Now, President Pei wanted to take him to the office? He couldn't take care of him. Lin Yan hesitated. There were too many people in the convoy. Besides, she would have to train Yun Xian, so she wouldn't have time to take care of Xiao Li. Everyone in the convoy would be busy. Besides, they were all men, so how would they know how to take care of a child? He Lifeng wasn't reliable either. Pei Yucheng's suggestion had indeed solved a huge problem for her. However, it would be too much trouble for him to take the child to the office and take care of it for her. Lin Yan scratched her head sheepishly. But I'm the one who took on this responsibility. How can I let you take care of it for me? That would be too much trouble for you. Pei Yucheng glanced at the girl behind his glasses and replied casually, taking care of a child should be done by 2 people. There's no need to help or trouble. When Lin Yan heard him, she instantly felt that he was too righteous. Indeed. Taking care of a child should be the responsibility of the husband and wife, not just the mother. End of chapter. Chapter 1271. Suddenly, Lin Yan realized that something was amiss. Why did Pei Yucheng make it sound as though they were husband and wife and Xiaoli was their child? Although Pei Yucheng's logic and values were right, it didn't seem right for them to do the same thing. They weren't husband and wife, and Xiaoli wasn't their son. She had accepted someone else's money to help them. How could she trouble Pei Yucheng? However, before Lin Yan could react, Pei Yucheng said, "It's settled then. I'll take care of the child. You go with the car." Lin Yan was speechless. This tone. Was there really nothing strange about it? However, she felt that it would be too pretentious to explain herself and draw a clear line between her and Pei Yucheng. Pei Yucheng replied, "Don't worry. We get along well." Pei Li was speechless. Cheng Imo was speechless. How was it good? Everyone knew that the father and son were like fire and water. He felt that it was a miracle that the little devil hadn't killed his father yet. Lin Yan, who had no idea what was going on, didn't think much of it. Xiaoli and Pei Yucheng had been at home yesterday and they seemed to be getting along well. "Xiaoli, are you willing to go to the office with uncle?" Lin Yan asked for the little guy's opinion. Pei Li fell silent once more. The little guy was good at reading people's expressions. He knew very well that Pei Yucheng was someone his mother trusted very much. Hence, his mother would be at ease if Pei Yucheng took care of him. In the end, Pei Li nodded obediently. "I'll listen to you, sister." Pei Li clenched his fists discreetly, feeling that something was amiss. He had come to see his mother, so why was he spending most of his time with Pei Yucheng? He knew that Pei Yucheng had asked him to stay at home to take care of him and take him to the office. He had wanted to keep an eye on him and keep an eye on him. However, even though he knew that this was a trap, he was still willing to endure it. Pei Yucheng was plotting against him, and he was also making use of Pei Yucheng. Cheng Yimou had never imagined that the little devil would be willing to accept Pei Yucheng's control and follow him to the office. His eyes almost popped out of their sockets. At the thought that the little devil would be in the office for the entire day and he would have to shoulder the responsibility of looking after him, he really wanted to jump down from the top floor of JM. Lin Yan stroked the little fellow's head. Xiaoli, I just need to train with the team today. I don't have to rush for work, so I should be able to finish early. When I'm done, I'll pick you up from work. Pei Li's eyes lit up. Okay, sister, I will be obedient. Seeing that things were settled just like that, Cheng Yimou was completely petrified. Are you sure? Did he really have to take care of the little devil for a day? When Boss Pei had a meeting, the responsibility of taking care of Boss Pei would definitely fall onto his shoulders. In just a few seconds, Cheng Yimou had already thought of how to write his will. Lin Yan, who didn't notice Cheng Mo's unusual behavior, pulled him aside and said, Assistant Cheng, I'll have to trouble you to take care of Xiaoli. This child's parents aren't around, so he's introverted and timid. Please be patient and take good care of him. Don't scare him. Cheng Yimou. Introverted, afraid of strangers, very timid, don't scare him? Who would be the one who would be scared? Cheng Yimou nodded with tears streaming down his face. Don't worry, lady boss. I will be careful. I won't scare him. End of this chapter. Chapter 1272. Lin Yan heaved a sigh of relief when she heard Cheng Yimou. She strode over to Pei Li and retrieved a child's phone from her bag. Oh yeah. Xiaoli, take this. I bought you a phone. You can use it to contact me. Lin Yan had bought this phone when she was free. She had chosen a Peppa Pig cartoon that kids would like and hung a cute crab-shaped pendant on it. Lin Yan quipped, I picked this phone myself. I didn't know if you would like it. Oh yeah, this crab is a pair with the one on my phone. Lin Yan waved her phone, which had an identical crab-shaped pendant on it. She liked crabs because they had claws and were willful. When she bought this pendant, it was buy one pair and get one pair free. She bought two, so she had 4 identical pendants. She hung one for herself, so there were 3 left. So, she hung one for Xiaoli as well to coax the little boy. Pei Li stretched out his tiny hand to take the phone. Is this, for me? Yeah, it's for you. If you need anything, call me. Of course, you can also call me anytime. No matter what, I will answer Xiaoli's call. Replied Lin Yan. Pei Li's eyes reddened slightly. He had lost count of how many days and nights he had only been able to see his mother in his dreams. He had almost forgotten what his mother looked like. There was only endless darkness, brutality, desolation, and murder. He had thought that his mother was dead. He had thought that he would never see her again. However, his mother was standing before him now. She had given him a phone and told him that she would answer his call no matter what. All of this was so unreal. Pei Li looked dazed, as though he was afraid that this was just a dream. What's wrong, Xiaoli? Lin Yan asked worriedly when she noticed that the kid was in a trance. Pei Li shook his head hastily and held the phone carefully. He caressed the crab pendant lovingly. Thank you, sister. I will cherish this gift. I won't break it. He knew that, his mother's favorite animal was crabs. Mom gave her favorite thing to him. Does that mean that Mom also likes me a little bit? Lin Yan stroked the little fellow's head gently. It's okay if you break it. I can buy another one for you. Pei Li looked at his mother's gentle palm and silently counted, the 4th time. Ever since he met his mother, this was the fourth time she had touched his head. "Sister, I won't break it." The little guy looked extremely serious. How could he bear to break it? This was something his mother had given him. He wouldn't let anyone touch him. Lin Yan walked them to the door. After Cheng Mo and Xiao Li got into the car, Lin Yan spoke to Pei Yucheng. Lin Yan replied, "I'll finish as soon as possible. Call me if you need anything." Pei Yucheng grunted in response as his eyes darted to her hand. Lin Yan glanced at him suspiciously. "What's wrong?" Pei Yucheng replied, "I want it too." What do you want?" Lin Yan was puzzled. Pei Yucheng reached out and picked up the little crab on her phone. Crab. End of chapter. Chapter 1273. Lin Yan muttered, Pei Yucheng wanted this crab's phone pendant? Why couldn't she tell that Pei Yucheng was so childish? Lin Yan raised the crab's pincers and shook them. She chuckled and said, "I hung this because crabs are rich. I use it to attract wealth." "You don't need it, right?" Pei Yucheng replied, "If it's not to attract wealth, can I have it?" Lin Yan was speechless. Lin Yan couldn't stand Pei Yucheng's pleading. After being together for so long, it was rare for Pei Yucheng to take the initiative to ask her for a gift. Besides, it seemed like he really wanted it. It was just a cheap pendant. How could she not give it to him? Sure. Of course. It's not expensive. I bought 2 and used 1 for myself. I gave you another one as a gift, so I still have 2 left. If you like it, I'll get 1 for you tonight, Lin Yan replied. Pei Yucheng replied, "Thank you, madam." Pei Yucheng leaned over and kissed Lin Yan on the lips. Then, he got into the car. A few seconds later, Lin Yan stared blankly at the car as it drove away. Wait a minute. What had Pei Yucheng called her? She had felt that something was amiss when Cheng Mo had called her Lady Boss. Why had Pei Yucheng changed the way he addressed her? He had called her Miss Lin not long ago. At the team, when Lin Yan arrived, the team members were training intensely. On the track, Mo Shuyun, Qi Feng, Yun Xian, Zhou Yu, Zheng Xiran, and Xiao Haiqing formed a team. Yun Xian was in the lead, followed by Qi Feng and Mo Shuyun. Zhou Yu and the rest were right behind them. Yun Xian was the first to cross the finish line by 3 seconds. When they reached the finish line, the spectators screamed and cheered. However, Yun Xian's face was pale, and he didn't look happy at all. Yun Xian didn't lose a single match today. He's amazing. However, why does he look as though someone owes him 8 million yuan? Who knew that he would have such a weird temper? I think Yun Xian has a chance of entering the second level of the international competition. You're exaggerating. Even with Lin Yan's skills, she wouldn't dare to guarantee that she would be able to enter the second level of the international competition. Let's not talk about how terrifying those foreign teams are. The first team has also been improving very quickly recently, not to mention the 2 old monster teams that have yet to reveal their strength. After training, Mo Shuyun led Yun Xian to Lin Yan. "Goddess, I'll bring the others to review the results. I'll leave Yun Xian to you. These are his training records for the past month." Lin Yan nodded. "All right. Thank you, Captain Mo." This kid was a newbie with almost no experience when he first came. "How long has it been?" "He has surpassed us 1 by 1. Now, even Qi Feng and I can't beat him," Mo Shuyun said helplessly. Qi Feng also smiled and said, "The new waves of the Yangtze River surpass the old. I'm not old yet, but I'm going to die on the beach." However, there aren't many newcomers who improve as fast as Yun Xian. Lin Yan flipped through the training records that Mo Shuyun had given her. Yun Xian's progress had been recorded clearly. Chapter 1274. Lin Yan read it carefully. He has improved very quickly, but he hasn't improved much in the past month. Yun Xian's back stiffened, and his face turned even paler. Others had only seen him defeat Xiaofan, Mo Shuyun, and Zhou Yu time and time again, but they didn't know that he had maintained this level for a long time and hadn't improved at all. Lin Yan seemed to have discovered something after flipping through the records, but she wasn't sure. TSK. Could this kid, she could verify it today. It's already very good. Who can keep improving? Wouldn't he have become a god? Mo Shuyun quipped. That's hard to say. Lin Yan muttered to herself as she stared at the records. Mo Shuyun asked, "Goddess, what did you say?" Lin Yan stroked her chin. "Nothing. I just discovered something interesting." "Huh? What interesting thing?" Mo Shuyun probed curiously. "Yun Xian is quite similar to me in the past." Lin Yan quipped. "Similar to you? How so?" Mo Shuyun was puzzled. "We'll know once we try. Yun Xian's time is mine today. Bring someone to review the match." "Don't disturb us," Lin Yan said, looking excited. Mo Shuyun glanced worriedly at Yun Xian, who looked gentle and weak. Then, "Goddess, be gentler. The competition is about to begin. Don't be too intense, got it, got it. Why are you so naggy?" Lin Yan chased him away impatiently. She grabbed Yun Xian's collar and dragged him away like a chick. Xiaofan and Mo Shuyun exchanged a glance. Will something happen? Lifeng appeared out of nowhere and rolled up his sleeves excitedly. What happened? What happened? Is that rascal Yun Xian going to do something to Sister Yan? See if I don't beat him until all his teeth fall out. Xiaofan and Mo Shuyun glanced at Lifeng speechlessly. Did you say it the other way around? They were worried that Lin Yan would do something to Yun Xian. Lin Yan changed into her uniform and put on her helmet. She wasn't in a hurry to start training. Instead, she led Yun Xian to the stands. Lin Yan asked, "Shall we talk?" Yun Xian lowered his head and said in an extremely low voice, "Master. I might have to let you down." Lin Yan chuckled. "What's wrong? This is the first day I accepted you. How can you let me down? Aren't you a little too quick to be disappointed?" Yun Xian's face flushed red as he explained anxiously, I. Even though I've been improving very quickly recently, my standard. Perhaps. I can only reach the third level of the international competition. It's just like what those people said. I'm just going there for sightseeing." Lin Yan asked, "Why would you come to such a conclusion?" Yun Xian's hands trembled slightly as he placed them on his knees. "Master, you've seen it for yourself. I've tried countless methods this entire month, but I've never been able to break the record I set a month ago." Lin Yan nodded. "I saw it. It's just a bottleneck. It's good to break through it." Chapter 1275. An ordinary person would be overjoyed to have such a standard. However, Yun Xian had improved too quickly and was extremely talented. In just a few months, he had achieved what an ordinary racer would have taken years to achieve. With such amazing talent, it was inevitable that he would sink into self-doubt and denial. This kind of negativity was terrifying to a racer. If he didn't receive the right guidance, he might just vanish like this. To an inexperienced racer like Yun Xian, his mentality was more important than his skills. Lin Yan chuckled softly and patted Yun Xian's shoulder. For the rest of his life? My dear disciple, do you have any misunderstandings about yourself? Otherwise, you must have some misunderstandings about me. Get up and follow me to the track. We'll decide the winner in 10 rounds. Lin Yan put on her helmet and gazed at the young man through the helmet. Now, I'm going to show you. After some time, Yun Xian snapped back to his senses and hurriedly put on his helmet. Soon, the two cars set off from the finish line. Although Yun Xian was in low spirits, he managed to get into his groove and catch up with Lin Yan. He even took the lead. The two of them maintained the same distance for almost a quarter of the race. Yun Xian maintained a lead over Lin Yan, but he didn't speed up. Lin Yan glanced at Yun Xian on her left. Although Yun Xian was young and inexperienced, he was very stable and rarely made mistakes. Lin Yan maintained the same distance between them as she sped up. When she was almost 1/3 of the race, she sped up. At the turn, Lin Yan overtook Yun Xian and overtook him. Yun Xian didn't even have time to react before Lin Yan overtook him at a position that was almost impossible. Yun Xian stood there in a daze before he snapped back to his senses. He stepped on the accelerator and chased after her. The young man's lifeless eyes rippled with emotion. At the next turn, Yun Xian sped like a madman in an attempt to overtake her. In the end, Lin Yan's defense was flawless. He didn't have a chance to overtake her. He didn't even manage to graze the back of Lin Yan's car. Instead, he almost went off the track because of the inertia. He failed to overtake her at the second turn. He failed at the third turn as well. What was going on? The competition between Lin Yan and Zhou Yu yesterday hadn't been this scary. He had even analyzed Lin Yan's running style. He had been confident that he would be able to overtake her at the last few turns. Cold sweat broke out on Yun Xian's forehead as he stared straight ahead. Almost all of his attention was on the racing car, as if he had become one with it. However, the terrifying thing was that no matter what he did, Lin Yan was like a massive beast blocking his path. She didn't give him any chance to surpass her. Ever since he started racing, he had never felt so hopeless. However, ever since he had started racing, he had never been this crazy. It felt as though all the blood in his body was boiling, and the entire world had vanished before his eyes. All that was left in his world was Lin Yan and the car's silhouette, which made him chase after her relentlessly. End of chapter. Chapter 1276. Yun Xian's body had reached its limit, but he didn't seem tired at all. He continued to chase after the car. After some time, Lin Yan had finally reached the finish line. All he could see was the exhaust fumes from her car. Every time he was about to catch up, Lin Yan would leave him far behind. In the end, he had fallen behind Lin Yan by at least 10 seconds. That was a terrifying number. Yun Xian sat in a daze in the car. His body had stopped, but his soul seemed to be trapped in the race that Lin Yan had dominated. He would never be able to escape. He clutched his chest, his forehead drenched in sweat. His breathing was shallow, and his heart was about to explode. Lin Yan didn't rush him. Instead, she waited for him outside. When Yun Xian came out, his uniform was drenched in sweat, and he could barely stand. In the past, he wouldn't feel tired even if he trained for 3 days and 3 nights. However, after 10 laps and an hour, he felt exhausted. Lin Yan had to support him before he managed to stand up. Lin Yan coughed softly as she watched Yun Xian, who was drenched in sweat. Yun Xian, are you all right? Yun Xian looked as though he was about to cry. He gazed at the girl in front of him in despair and stammered, "Master, I'm sorry. I've disappointed you. I really can't do it." After 10 laps, he hadn't been able to catch up with Lin Yan. Instead, he had fallen behind. Lin Yan raised an eyebrow. Can't do it? Who said that you can't do it? Yun Xian stared at Lin Yan as tears rolled down his cheeks. He wiped them away with his hands as he sobbed. But I lost. I was 10 seconds slower than you. I was even slower, he hadn't improved. He wasn't faster. In fact, he was even slower. Lin Yan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Just because you lost doesn't mean that you're slower. Yun Xian was in a daze. He couldn't comprehend Lin Yan's words. Lin Yan pressed a button silently. Lin Yan said, "Look at your speed." Soon, the display above their heads showed the results of the two people just now. Lin Yan and Yun Xian had completed 10 laps, which took nearly an hour. Lin Yan's fastest lap was 5 minutes and 39 seconds. Yun Xian's fastest lap time was 5 minutes 49 seconds. Yun Xian stared at the results of this training on the screen, almost unable to believe his eyes. 5 minutes and 49 seconds, 5 minutes and 49 seconds, how was this possible? His fastest time was only 5 minutes 52 seconds. Now, it had actually sped up by 3 seconds in just an hour. It had been more than a month since he was able to go faster than 0.01 seconds, but in the training just now, he was faster by 3 seconds. What shocked him the most wasn't his result, but Lin Yan. Yesterday, Lin Yan's fastest time had been 5 minutes and 48 seconds, which had shocked everyone. However, today, she had sped up by 9 seconds. This was not a difference of half a second or a second, but a whole 10 seconds. It was like jumping from one dimension to another. Lin Yan waved her hands in front of Yun Xian. What's wrong? Are you so happy that you've finally broken through your bottleneck that you've lost your mind? Who are you? Yun Xian stared at Lin Yan as though he didn't know who she was. End of chapter. Chapter 1277. No one in the entire country, not even the two teams that had been training in secret, could match her results. This was a level that could compete on the international stage. Yun Xian finally realized that he wasn't the one who had slowed down. Lin Yan had been too fast. Lin Yan blinked innocently. Don't tell me you've lost your mind. I'm your master, you. What did you do to me? Why am I so fast? Yun Xian had too many things he wanted to say and too many questions he wanted to ask. For a moment, he was stuck, so anxious that he didn't know how to express himself. Lin Yan grinned. I didn't do anything to you. It's because of your physique. Because of my physique? Yun Xian was puzzled. Your ability relies on your opponent, replied Lin Yan. Yun Xian looked confused. Relies on my opponent? Coach, I still don't understand. Lin Yan explained, what I mean is that you become stronger when you meet someone stronger and weaker when you meet someone weaker. Haven't you realized it? The stronger the opponent you meet, the faster you will improve. The reason why you didn't improve in the past month was because you had already surpassed the fastest person in the Aurora team. There was no longer anyone who could match up to you, so you entered a bottleneck. In the training just now, I purposely increased my speed to test whether my idea was correct or not. As it turned out, it was indeed so, and the effect was even better than I had imagined. However, it seemed a little too intense. Yun Xian looked as though he was about to collapse. Lin Yan couldn't help feeling guilty as she recalled Mo Shuyun's advice. Yun Xian felt as though he was in a dream. The girl before him had said that she had purposely increased her speed as an experiment. It was as if this level of acceleration was just a casual lift to her. He even had a feeling that what he had seen was just the tip of the iceberg. Lin Yan's ability might be much more than that. Do you believe in yourself now? You can do it. You're much better than that. You just lack someone to guide you. Lin Yan patted Yun Xian's shoulder encouragingly. Yun Xian stared at the girl before him, speechless. Actually, he still didn't believe in himself. However, he believed in the person before him. Coach. I don't believe in myself, but I believe in you. Yun Xian muttered resolutely. On the other hand, Mo Shuyun was still worried, so he came over to watch Lin Yan train. In the end, this was the scene he saw as soon as he arrived. Yun Xian looked as though he had been ravaged. He was drenched in sweat, and his legs were wobbly. Lin Yan was supporting him, but he couldn't even stand properly. Yun Xian's eyes were even a little red, as if he had just cried. Damn! Goddess, you, didn't I ask you to be gentler? Aren't you being a little too intense? Mo Shuyun rushed over anxiously. Lin Yan rubbed her nose. I'm already very gentle. Just as he finished speaking, Yun Xian fainted with a thud and fell to the ground. Mo Shuyun was so shocked that he ran over and helped her up. You! This! Shout! 1. Soft? Lin Yan was speechless. Mo Shuyun asked, what did you do to him? Lin Yan replied, I really didn't do anything to him, it was just a car race. Babies, Happy New Year. I've spent another year with you guys. Let's continue to have fun together in 2021. End of chapter. Chapter 1278. The competition was imminent, and Yun Xian was a seeded player in the team. How could Mo Shuyun not be worried? He quickly sent him to the hospital while Lifeng and Qi Feng left with him. He was fine. He had just overexerted himself in a short period of time. Mo Shuyun asked, overexerted? Qi Feng replied, collapse. Lifeng asked, sister, what did you do to him? Lin Yan scratched her head. It was just ordinary training. Mo Shuyun, Qi Feng, and Lifeng were speechless. Meanwhile, at JM Corporation, Pei Yucheng was already in the meeting room when Cheng Mo led Pei Li to the president's office. Pei Li held the phone that Lin Yan had given him and surveyed the room expressionlessly. Then, he found a couch and sat down. Young Master Pei Li, do you have any other instructions? After Lin Yan was gone, Pei Li's expression had changed completely. His originally weak and cute face was now filled with coldness. However, perhaps because he was in a good mood, Pei Li didn't look that scary. He merely waved his hand, indicating that silent disaster could leave. Cheng Mo heaved a sigh of relief and left. Cheng Mo, the JM Corporation's special assistant who had always been capable and calm, acted as though he was facing a formidable enemy. Secretary Lin, have all the staff been cleared? Assistant Cheng, the top floor has been cleared. Not the top floor. The top 3 floors. 3 floors? All of them? Yes, all of them. No one is allowed to approach the 3rd floor, especially the president's office. Do you understand? Yes. Xing Chen and Ling Yu rushed over. Have the guards been transferred here? Cheng Mo asked immediately. Xing Chen panted and nodded. They're here. They're all F-class. There are also 2 E-class warriors outside. Cheng Mo calmed down when he heard that even E-class warriors had been transferred. All right. Ling Yu shrugged. As far as I know, given the evolved being inside, even an A-class evolved being wouldn't be able to do anything, let alone 2 E-class warriors. Cheng Mo and Xing Chen's faces stiffened. Xing Chen peeked inside and asked, how's the little devil doing now? Cheng Imo said in a low voice, "It's all right, it's pretty quiet. According to my observations over the past 2 days, young Master Pei Li's temperament doesn't seem to be what the rumors say. Perhaps we're just overly anxious." Ling Yu said helplessly, "I hope so." At the entrance of the building, a man and a woman, 2 E-class evolvers, were guarding it solemnly. During this time, the female evolved human with short hair went in to deliver some fruits and snacks. Pei Li's reaction was normal. 2 hours passed quickly. Xing Chen, Cheng Imo, Ling Yu, and the others were tensed up as they stood guard outside. Cheng Imo glanced at the office and glanced at the time on his phone. He heaved a sigh of relief. Xing Chen took out a lollipop and relaxed a little. He sighed and said, "I can get off work in a while." Cheng Imo didn't dare to let his guard down. He asked the female evolved human beside him, "Little Ku, how's young Master Pei Li?" The female evolved human was the core confidant of the Pei family. Her rank was similar to Xing Chen's. This time, she had been transferred here urgently. It was only after she arrived that she found out that it was the missing young Master Pei Li. It was rumored that young Master Pei Li was extremely dangerous. However, after interacting with him a few times, she realized that the rumored little devil with the highest status and terrifying abilities was actually a very cute little boy. You're tuning in to the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.